This dickhead. Welcome to the social media derby, guys. You'll see a very different format for this week's episode. We're going live, number one, and number two, we've got about 7 man on the episode. So we'll be spreading out beyond just Arsenal and Man United. Unfortunately, we're going to have to chat Paul because Kem's here, and we're also going to chat Chelsea as well with Reece in the building. But yeah, before we get into the episode, if everyone can just drop a like, subscribe, a comment in the comment section, all of that's greatly appreciated. If you're listening to audio, yeah, give us a 5-star review, follow the pod. All of that helps with the algorithms. But yeah, let's get into it, guys. How's everyone doing? How you doing, John? You surviving out in that part of the world? How's your internet looking?
Remains to be seen. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. We've never had this many men, and my computer's never had to deal with this much video at the time. So who knows whether it will survive or not? But I'm doing well outside of that.
Nice one. How you doing, Reece? Welcome to the pod, bro. First time on. Gonna chat some Chelsea. You feeling hyped? You guys won yesterday, yeah, against 10 Lardens Leverkusen. How you feeling?
yeah, looking good. Watch the highlights of the game, and yeah, we're looking like a more fully functional team. So looking forward to the season starting, and yeah, let's go.
It's exciting times. Yeah, I heard Esteval banged in a goal yesterday, and he's looking good. So yeah, the transfer policy of just buying everyone's looking good. What are you saying, bro? Man's not wearing a shirt as usual.
Allow me.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. Same old. Trying to stay positive with Mr. Arteta in charge of the reins. But, so it's a new day. Positivity is the aim of the game. And hoping that we've got a good season on the cards.
Yeah, man. For context, for everyone that doesn't know, in a group chat, there's been the most in-house I've ever seen in my life. Everyone's turning on each other. Me and Nash are going for each other's neck. Io Johns, Razor had a session for about 4 hours yesterday, which kept us all really entertained. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of a mad one, I think, if you go by the group chat recently. But yeah, here you are. All right, Nash, how you doing, bro? My fellow United lad, how are you?
Feeling very rested and inspired. So let's do this.
We're going to have another very cordial episode like we did last week, although you've already called
level best.
Yeah, let's try and limit the Graham Souness chat for me, but yeah, then we'll keep it PG. How you doing, Razor? You good, bro?
Yeah, man, can't complain. Actually, I could complain because that's what most Arsenal fans spend their days doing. But I'm all right. I accidentally wandered through Chelsea country after they won yesterday, which made me feel a bit sick, but I've recovered to this morning. I'm okay. I'm good.
Yeah, man. There he is. Look, he's got the gold badge out as well. Just when you said that as well.
As long as you knew where you was, Ray, you was around greatness there. Yeah, that's where trophies live. Yeah, just so you know. I swear you live in West London as well. That's because you know where the winners are. Winners stay in West.
Hey, it's because I get cheap rent. It's because I got cheap rent here, and as soon as the rent stops being cheap, I am going back to civilization. I hate these people.
I hear it.
Yeah, that's rough. How are you doing, Kem? The most reluctant acceptance on the pod, I think, of all 7 people on. Me and John's tried every single angle to try and deny you to join, but you've made it through the full court press. How are you feeling, bro?
All good, man. Finally here. Meant to be here probably like a year ago, and I did fumble. So glad to actually have like the most successful team actually representing the pod. Let's get it going.
I'm so tempted to kick you right now, but yeah, I hear you. I can't argue with it, man. I actually think if we include community shields, though, you're gonna have to, because we've still got more, I think, overall. But I won't get into that. That's too petty. All right, we'll go into the episode. Yeah, exactly. You've got one this weekend. But yeah, let's get into the episode. So today we thought we'd do some grading for all of our team's transfer windows. I know there's still 3 weeks left of the window left, but all of us have done loads of business. Chelsea goes without saying, but all the rest of us have done loads of business as well. So we'll go through all of that. Everyone will give their opinions on how they think their team's looking ahead of the season. And then we're also going to get into our pre-season or kind of before the season predictions for a couple of categories. You've obviously got who we think is going to be the winner, top 5, top 8, and then we'll get into like players of the season and good and bad signings, etc. But let's get into the chat around the grading then. We'll start off in the order of how the table finished last season. So sadly, we're going to have to start with Paul. So we'll go through the transfers. Kem, I beg you don't try and correct me on the transfer fees and that, all right? This is all transfermarket.com. This is not me just adding 10 million onto everyone as much as I wanted to do it. But you've got Frimpong in, Verts in, Kirkes, Ekatike. And then on the outs, you've obviously lost Trent. Kelleher's gone, Phillips, Kwanzaa, Morton, Diaz, and Nunes hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's here we go. So that's basically done. We'll start with you, Kem, then. Give us your grade. How do you rate the transfer windows for you guys so far? And are you ready to get that pressure of big spenders because you're not tight asses anymore?
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it on the basis, assuming we get Isak as well. I'm gonna put an A because obviously, I think what they've done this summer is not just this season but future planning as well. So obviously we lost Trent's creativity. I think they're going to replace that with Wirtz. Obviously Frimpong's a direct replacement in that position. He could probably play right wing, maybe during AFCON. Kirkes, obviously Robertson's been washed for about 2 seasons, so that's good future planning. Even the keeper as well, because Alisson's about 32. And obviously getting in Hugo Ekitike as well, I think is a smart transfer as well, based on the laptop nerds and what they like to do. So hopefully Nunes going as well. I'd give it an A just because of that, to be honest. Not even Isak having to come in, actually. You know how I feel about him, thank God. I think my life expectancy might go up a bit now. So I think overall, ideally, I think they will get a centre-back as well. We're really short in that position. I don't think they'll be dumb enough to let that happen again after what happened a few seasons ago when we lost like all our centre-backs within the first like 3 months. So I'm going to give it an A because I think they've done well for the current team, but also for when the key players get old and eventually leave.
All right, but you've added a bare caveats in that already. So if you let's say you don't get Isak, and let's say
I'll still give it an A.
It's like this. You're still giving it an A, yeah?
I'll still give it an A. Yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, you're going big and bold. So basically, Isak doesn't add anything to the grade because you're A now and you're going to be A anyway.
I'm going to keep it an A, man, because we'll get him. I believe. I believe.
This guy's just stuck on A. All right, cool. What do you, man, think about it? Everyone agree? Because he's put in bare caveats. He said that, what was it? That Verts is going to replace Trent's creativity. So we got Cams coming in for right backs. All right. Anyone?
Oh my goodness.
Anyone got any objections?
Verts play football, you know. For rude awakening.
Yeah, it's going to be but I think that's just our United hate coming through. Because
I can't believe I'm already agreeing with Kem.
It's been a good week, man.
I hate it. I don't know if I agree in terms of it being an A per se, but I do agree that adding Isak, if that happens, shouldn't change the grade too much. They won by a comfortable distance. They could have won by more. And a lot of boards, a lot of football clubs would be tempted to be like, oh, you know, we got a good thing here. We're doing a good thing here. Maybe get some direct replay. Liverpool said, nah, we want everything. We're coming for everything. They tried to buy. I'm hearing reports that they're not done in the market, Isak or no Isak. They're looking at wingers and other things, you know what I mean? So I think like for the ambition, for the intention, and contextually, just remembering that it came off the back of them basically dominating the league, like you gotta give the credit where it's due. Like the club are moving serious. They're moving like sharks, and some clubs are looking like seals. It's peak.
I feel like you got to call it an A just if you compare it to their previous seasons, right? Like if this was a team that went out there and getting players when they were supposed to get them, usually like most of the rest of the teams that are on this panel, I feel like you'd be like, oh yeah, it's maybe a B because you still haven't got a striker. You got rid of Nunes, sure, but you proper need like an out and out bagsman, and Ekatike even doesn't really look like he's going to be that. So I feel like grading it against last season, it looks like an A star. But grading it against like the perfect thing, I think you probably put it at like a B+. And if Isak comes, then you've got to be looking at it as like an A+ for sure.
Yeah, like I get what you man are saying, but I can't help but feel like Isak's been talked about as being one of the best strikers in the league and in the world potentially. And you're saying there's not going to be a grade change or a substantial grade change if he comes in. For me, that just doesn't compute, right? Like that's a top striker coming in, and as much as Noodles has been absolutely garbage, you've also lost Diaz, and then obviously, sadly lost Jota. RIP to him. So you need replacements. It's not even, and then if your replacement is Isak, you can't get a better replacement on the market. Surely that's got to bump it up at least to whatever the next level is above. But what do you man think, Io? What do you think, bro, about the grading, and what would you give it?
Yeah, no, I think definitely Liverpool's done what I think they've done what they're meant to have done in terms of trying to like bounce off, build on what they did last year. But I think Frimpong is going to be. I think as much as Trent was as bad defensively as ever made, I think Frimpong actually might be worse. So I'm actually excited to see left wingers go up against him. I think Kirk is a good signing. It works. I think that's a lot of money, but obviously, money could be money well spent. Ekitike, he looks really good. I like the way he looks, but I think they made some good signings. But I think they do get Isak. I think that definitely takes them up another level because, it's a scary front line if you're lining up with him, Salah, and then Ekitike in the left wing. That is a very scary front three. So, I'd definitely give them like an A+, A* if they get like Isak. But I guess we have to wait to see what happens. But I think Frimpong is going to be an interesting sight to see because I think he's going to be just, if not as bad as Trent, he might even be worse than Trent defensively. So that's
Kem, you're laughing, but I don't think I was gassing, man. I mean, how much Leverkusen did you watch? Like,
I don't disagree.
He's spooky defensively. He is.
What I will say with Frimpong is I think he'll rotate more with Bradley than we expect.
Yeah, maybe true.
But one thing I'll say with Frimpong is at least the guy will run back because certain man was.
You're running that on Trent now, yeah. All right. Cool.
At least he'll get back into position and try. So maybe Konate can stay with his player, not have to come out and be pulled out of position. So I think that's a good point.
That's a good point, though. I don't think. I think in my mind, at least, I don't know what you lot think, but as soon as you've signed Frimpong, I've kind of just basically penciled him in the team. But you've got a good point. Like Bradley was looking decent last season, and whether it's the contract situation or whatever was going with Trent, Bradley didn't look out of place when he was playing, and maybe he'll be the right back. But what do you think, Reese? How would you rate their window so far? And do you think, as a rival, as someone who might be in this race, does it make you feel scared, worried? How do you feel when you see their activity?
Premier League has to be worried, like because of the way Liverpool actually won the league, and then they've just strengthened even more, considering how much they didn't strengthen last season. So I think in general, you have to give it an A because of the upgrades that they've probably brought in. If they get Isak over the line, then I think you have to look at them as favourites for the league this season. But it's just a case of, will these signings help them compete in other trophies? Because obviously they went out a bit early in the Champions League, probably got all the way to the League Cup final, but didn't get over the line. So I think there is obviously areas for improvement, but it's a good start to show their intentions moving forward.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. That's a good point as well. I guess they're looking to try and attack all fronts. But let's see how it goes. Nash, quickly before we move on to what's probably the main course on this grading section and go to Arsenal. What's your last thoughts on Liverpool?
I think I'd have to give them an A because of this is their strategy. Because I assume next summer or January they're not going to do another huge outlay, so they're going to hit all their target positions, and then it'll be another 2-year. I wouldn't say drought, but disciplined approach in the market. So I think this outlay is actually in line with their strategy, and I have to give it an A. I'm really impressed with their business. Although a centre back could be needed.
Definitely. Yeah, I don't think that's a could. I think that's definitely. I think that's If you don't go into the season
'cause-
with another centre back, tricky.
We've only got
But
two.
also, I
Gomez
mean,
doesn't
he
count.
mentioned before. You also mentioned before about Konate having to worry about Frimpong or not having to worry about Frimpong, but he's not going to have to worry about any of it for long. Give him 1 year and he's gone, mate.
Oh, he's learning
That's
Spanish
Blancos.
already, man. Don't worry, he's out. He's out. Don't worry, he's done.
I was waiting
We
for
need
someone
like
to
3
hit that.
centre-backs.
Yeah, all right. Let's
Trust.
move on. I think we've done enough pool chat. I already almost threw up in my mouth. Let's move on to Arsenal and chat on the main course. What you man have absolutely been losing your head in the group chat, and now let's chat through Arsenal. So, yeah, I mean, how much business compared to that last Arsenal special we did a few weeks back? I think the only differences at the moment are you've obviously got your favourite player, Madueke, across the line. Thanks, Reece. Got Gyökeres, and then also got Mosquera on the outs. Don't think anything's changed really on that front. Everyone's pretty much the same. So, all right, guys, let's have at it. Royal Rumble starts now. Who wants to go first? What's the grading on us now?
I'm giving it a solid B- currently, if that. It is just as I remember, I think we last spoke, I was so excited because I thought it was the beginning of us signing. I generally thought Eze would have been confirmed or at least something like lined up by now. But yeah, I'm just not. I think the preseason games as well has just made me just obviously it's only preseason. You can't judge anything off preseason, but I think the Zubimendi's the most excited me, and obviously Gyökeres. I'm excited to see how he kind of takes to the team if we actually supply him. But just the winger. It's just having not seen Eze signed already. Obviously, Madueke, I don't even want to get my blood pressure raised just yet. I'm sure the time will come. But yeah, I'm just watching that game against Villarreal the other day and just seeing how he played. It just kind of just gets me I just feel like there's a lot of holes still left to be filled, and we can say squad depth, and he's bought players for replacements. But seeing a Norgard and Marino set in midfield is not something we should be seeing. We should be seeing if we want to compete for the title, and I think that's actually a sight we might be seeing a lot more than we expect this year. So yeah, I'm getting currently it's a B- just because you've got Gyökeres and Zubimendi, but yeah, hopefully if we get Eze and Rodrigo, then maybe I can be a bit more excited for what we've got coming this year. But yeah, B- currently for me.
I said Eze and Rodrigo.
I know.
What are we doing?
That's what got me.
You just rolled Rodrigo into the end of it as well.
Hey, I'm seeing that I've seen talk about him coming. What do you mean? I've got to believe.
Your source read it.
I've heard we're trying to do a loan deal, which is ridiculous in the first place. But if anything's possible, and yeah, if we get Eze, then good. Then maybe that goes into an A-. But yeah, as I said in the chat, I think Madueke is actually going to be our starting left winger. So if that happens, then we've got to. Then it goes down to a C+ if you're lucky from me. If he's our starting left winger at the beginning of the season, then I just can't. My excitement, it goes down to a C+, man, 100% for sure.
No, I hear you. I can't imagine Razor. I'm watching your reactions. You've got to come in here and give us some I don't know, more positivity.
No, it's not even about positivity. I think it's about relativity. Do you know what I'm saying? And do you know what's crazy? I think after the argument that me and Lana were having yesterday, that turned into a different argument between me and Chan. One thing that's clear, yeah, Arsenal fans seem to agree on lots of stuff and disagree on almost everything else. But the disagreement is done in such a dramatic way, shall we say? Do you know what I mean? Everything is the end of the world. I actually pretty much agree with Ayo's grading of the window so far. I do think if we're doing minuses and pluses, yeah, B+ maybe, just because I think it might tickle the underside of an A-, just because we needed a striker. We haven't bought a striker since Aubameyang left. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's the bit of business that we needed to do. I know there's been discussions about how long it took us to do, which player we got, but I, for one, I have said I'm happy that we have a striker. And I think that's a bit of business that not only like the club, but like Burton needed to come in and like actually get handled to give confidence to almost everyone affiliated with the club. I do think we're talking about transfer business. So I don't know why preseason form is being included in that discussion. Personally, I'm just saying, like, my understanding of the question was how good has the transfer window been? And man are talking about us. Broski, I promise you, I will give you 100 Great British pounds. Yeah. If Norgard and who else did you say? Marino, yeah. If we see them start more than like 6 games together as a partnership this season, the whole 38, throwing cups, whatever, I will give you £100 because I don't know what man's saying. Like, oh yeah, that's gonna be what starting lineup doesn't include the new Spanish midfielder that our manager is obsessed with, and Declan banged 2 free kicks against Real Madrid Rice. I don't know why we're pretending that Norgard that's ever going to be our starting lineup. We brought him to be a Jorginho replacement. How many times did Jorginho start, even with our injury crisis? But business-wise, I think we've done decent. I think we needed a backup keeper. We got one. I think we needed a winger that can back up Saka. I think the last pod we talked about how happy we were that it was or wasn't that it was Madueke, or unhappy as the case may be. I think like I said, definitely not my first or second choice for that person, but I think again that's a profile that the squad has needed for numerous seasons, isn't it? So yeah, player selection, do you know what I mean? And as Kem likes to refer to them, like the nerds with the laptops, I'm sure Arsenal have our own equivalent of nerds with laptops. I'm not sure what their laptops are running, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully I see something. And the thing with me is, am I convinced? No, but I'll be real. I'm really hard to convince sometimes, bro. Like, I was not convinced by Ben White. I wanted to smash up stuff when I heard how much we were signing him for, you know what I mean? Has he been a bad signing? I wouldn't say so. He just needs to be injury-free more. And I think that's the one thing that we have done in terms of buying players. I think we've gone and bought a lot of players where availability isn't as much of a problem. You know what I mean? We were buying Tomiyasu's and parties and people that like to spend a lot of time on a stretcher. Gabby Jesus, do you know what I'm saying? Doesn't seem to be what we're doing this window. So, yeah, I think B+. 1 more signing, 2 more signings, I think we're looking really strong. I think business is difficult, innit? Like, where man is saying, like, oh, we should have signed this person first, or why are we going for that player on a loan deal? If you look at how the things are structured, I think sometimes a loan deal is actually, like, a loan for Rodrigo, where we cover 50% of his wages, might work out being more expensive than a cheaper transfer. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, not everything is like, why can't we do it? Like, because it's not Football Manager, my guy. That's why. So, as much as I'm, like, not as head loss FC as some of the fellow Gunners, like, you know what I mean? I am still like skeptical. So yeah, I think a B is fair.
Yeah, so you guys are not far away grading wise, but I hear it. There's different ways to look at it. Johns, let's wrap up the Arsenal triumvirate. How do you feel about it?
It's a B- at best currently, and the main reason for that is because we had 3 areas of our team, like of our first starting 11, that we had to upgrade, right? Which, in my opinion, was striker, left winger, and then a mid with Chargy leaving. So far, we've done 2 out of 3. But if we end the season without the third, then I'm not going to be worried about that, right? And then when it comes to backup players, I think we've talked enough about it, and I'm going to get onto it later on when we talk about our predictions in terms of some of the other signings that we've made. But like, I don't think that our back line necessarily been great either. I think Mosquera looks all right. Norgard looks all right. Madueke is overpriced. And if he ends up being the replacement for our left winger from a starting 11 point of view, and he's expected to improve our 11, then we're out of our minds. So, yeah, overall, I think it's a B-. But I think one thing that Ray said that I definitely agree with is it's relative. And I think as we go through the 4 clubs on this list, you may end up saying by the end of it that Arsenal have had the worst transfer window so far.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that last bit.
So we'll keep going on. We'll talk about Chelsea. We'll talk about United. But just bear in mind, at the end of this, who's had the worst out of all of us? And if you can say it's not Arsenal, then the truth set you free.
Oh, bro, hats off. I honestly didn't see that coming. That was the biggest Uno reverse card at the end. All right. I can't disagree with anything I think you guys are saying. Reese, let's go to you since Arsenal are your biggest customers. How do you rate their transfer window so far?
I mean, looking at it, I think I would give it a B. Like, personally, they've addressed the key area in a striker that they've needed for a long time. They can't keep going with Havertz up front. They've also the thing about Arsenal is they need cover. I think it would be a great window if they could get a left winger, replace because I don't think Martinelli will help them to the title. I don't know how good he is on that front. So I think if they get a left winger like Eze in, I think it will be a great window. And the thing is, the window's not done yet, so I feel like there probably will be more business towards the end of the window for Arsenal. But yeah, like I said, they've addressed the key area in a striker. I mean, they've bought a defender in Mosquera who looks okay. Madueke, he can play on the left. I mean, I know you don't want to see him on the left. But he has had fairly decent games on the left. I've seen it firsthand. And also, you have to think about Saka's cover. Like, I see Saka playing in League Cup games against Preston last season. It's like, what's he doing there? Like, he needs a rest. Like, that's the reason he missed so
we
much
already
of
bought
the
him
second
from
half
you.
of the season.
We already bought him.
Like, no,
we paid money. You ain't got to convince us anymore.
Let Reese talk. Let Reese talk. Reese didn't interrupt you. Let Reese talk.
Listen. All I see, is Saka's been playing football since he was about 17 for Arsenal in the first team, and he hasn't had a respite. And then the thing, right? Look at it like this. Look how many games Raheem Sterling played at a young age, and look at him now. I feel like he peaked a bit. So you don't want him to burn out. You want to be able to have him like rested and well. Like, he's not playing every game. So I think the cover was important for them. It might you might not have wanted Madueke, and particularly you might not have wanted to buy him from Chelsea. Thanks for helping with the PSR and that. But yeah, like, I think, I would give it a B for now, but I would say a signing or two maybe is needed. I particularly left back with Lewis Skelly. I know he's good, but is that his natural position? Do you need to go in and get a left back? Is Calafiori? He's not even a natural left back. So I think if you maybe upgraded there, got a left winger, and the rest is just covered. Like, that first team, there's not many people that's going to break into that. So but you need adequate cover. Like, so yeah, that would be my standing on it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. We've talked Madueke to death, so I don't want to go through it again. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he plays. And I think I agree with what Io said in the group chat yesterday. I think he's going to play an awful lot of games. I don't know where he will play, left or right, or whether it's cover or first 11. But I think he'll get a lot of minutes. But Kem, seen as I think undeniably you're the biggest Arsenal hater in here, let's go to you. Let's get your grades. What do you rate their window?
Serious?
I
Okay,
think so,
well,
bro.
I actually agree with Ray, as it's been a common theme this week, and Reese as well. So I'm gonna give you guys, I'm gonna give him a B, maybe even a B plus, because all I heard was you guys were a player away. You needed a striker, so you've got him. So that's it. Like, I think the point made about, I'm not going to go on about Madueke because you guys, his name's getting mentioned so much, but the Saka cover is true. Obviously, Arteta likes to run him into the ground, so you do need to do that for the games that don't really matter, or at least manage his minutes when you know you're going to win the match. But it did look like you guys were playing him on the left when I watched your game the other day. I don't know if that was just a one-off because Martinelli wasn't available or whatever, but I think you've added someone, you wanted someone to be able to play between the lines. Zubimendi is a really good addition to that. I think it will free up Rice further up the pitch. I think his ability to manage tempo will be massive for you guys as well, because sometimes you had leads and threw them away. So I think just being mature, which I said many times last season for your players, I think that will be key. So you won't get dumb red cards, and you'll be able to manage the game and see it out. And then you've just patched up other positions, like Norgard's got Prem experience. Mosquera seems okay. We'll see how it goes. It wasn't a massive outlay. And then, you've got a backup keeper. So I think you guys, you've got continuity in a squad that has finished, as much as I mock it, you did finish second 3 seasons in a row. You went deep in the Champions League. So sometimes that helps. So you're just plugging a few holes, and you said you were a strike away. You needed a bags man. You were winning games to your credit with Marino up front. So now you have someone who's supposedly gonna get you the goals. I think it's been a strong window for you guys. So, I have high expectations for you guys to deliver on one of the big trophies, or a trophy at least, should I say?
No. So on behalf of the Arsenal fans, I'm gonna say I see through your little game that you're doing right.
The most disingenuous speech I've heard in my life.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
This is mad because
single word was true.
I actually think that this is what Kem truly believes when he's not trying to piss us all off. No. I actually think, like, in reality, like, no, because like Liverpool fans they've seen it. They know what it's like to come agonizingly close and get beaten by a team that's like just swept them away. When you take it out of the context of making Arsenal fans lose their flipping minds on the internet or in the group chat, most people agree that Arsenal play like they're doing well as a football club, and they're in a position to do better if we sort out some basic things. Like, I don't think that's a revolutionary idea. Give him some credit.
It's just
he's on the internet. He's being looked at.
It shouldn't be coming.
I think also something that we've kind of spoken about recently in the chat as well is, like, I feel like you also need to make sure you actually do stay in the Champions League and maintain that money coming in. I think some of our teams, seeing how much you can make from the Club World Cup and the new format in the CL, you want to try and gatekeep that and keep certain clubs in 15th place. So if you're adding depth to your squad, however you like it or not, that's good. So as much as we all want to come first, and I don't know if we're going to touch on Man City or not at all, but you still want to maintain that going forward, because at the end of the day, these are just Americans running a franchise. So shout out Arsenal. I think you guys have. It's not as bad as it's made out. See how it goes.
Just stop. We don't need it.
Biggest example of him being full of shit was literally just in that last bit, right? So this is why you don't believe him, right? But we've got the sound bites. So when he starts waffling in the group chat, we'll get in the clips and we'll clip up just what he said then to prove that he's just talking out of both sides of his arse. All right, Nash, let's wrap up the Arsenal chat because we've got 2 more clubs to get through. What do you rate the window so far?
I'm giving it a B+ because most people look at transfer windows as a one-off event instead of looking in conjunction of the previous seasons and what's coming in the future. Because last season there was a massive outlay to show up most of the positions, and now this is more as a window of addition and more depth. So I look at striker, you need the one for ages, but then look at the rest of your team. Is there any positions that can justify the price tags being quoted for some of these players who would be a massive upgrade in your lineup? Because people are talking about Eze and Rodrigo. The wage structures and the packages needed for those players don't make sense in the current setup of Arsenal. And will there be that much of an upgrade to justify those costs? I don't think so. So yes, they need the depth. They've addressed that. And now they've got a striker. They've addressed that. I don't see what's wrong with this window. I'm very positive on it. They've done what they needed to do. And next summer, they can do another outlay for other positions if the squad doesn't work.
All right, that was more believable, but I'm still on the fence.
No.
Right? Kem's one's definitely not believable, but Nash almost had me.
I've had these conversations with Ray. I'm being very truthful. I'm very high on Arsenal's window. And the Noni thing, I think people aren't treating him in the right way because he's still got so much potential. I think just because he's not an aesthetically pleasing player, people treat him like he's a scrub.
Yeah, he's not a scrub, man. He's not a scrub. I'm again to really tread carefully not to rile you man up again into another Madueke chat, right? He's decent. I think everyone.
Decent, man. You're not giving
I think from what we've seen, right? I don't think we've seen Madueke enough to say like he's gonna fulfill the potential or be a flop. So people are going too extreme by saying like it's terrible, and people also, if they go too far and say he's gonna be a star boy and all that kind of stuff, I don't think you can judge properly, right?
I just think he didn't get a proper chance at Chelsea.
Exactly. Agree.
it's just
Hey, but
terrorism
can I
taking place.
interrupt this loving to ask you guys both the question then? Right?
So
You guys have purchased two wingers ish this season for roughly similar fees. If you had to swap one of them for the same fee, would you be happy?
I would
No,
say that's
absolutely
an
not.
unfair question because
Exactly.
we need a similar amount of game time to be able to make a proper comparison.
Don't give me
And
this
Noni just
unfair
hasn't had
question
that
bollocks,
chance.
mate. You paid the
So
same
I'm
amount of
working on
money.
incomplete data.
You're talking rubbish.
We should move on, but I just
Yes,
wanna,
please.
and I know we're gonna
I just
move
want,
on.
I just wanted
Two
to ask,
United wingers,
is Eze?
but
Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, the two wingers that United signed. Yeah, we're not there yet, but the two wingers that United signed, they were the main guy at their clubs. Now, forget about money, forget about clubs. How do you convince the guy that was the main guy to come and play second fiddle to our star boy that, as Kem said, the manager wants to be playing for 75 minutes against Preston?
Are you certain he's second fiddle though? Because I could have sworn that people were just telling me that he might play left wing.
Huh? He's been.
Are you sure that he's definitely playing second fiddle?
I'm sure that Arteta, in his crazy mind, enjoys the fact that he can play left wing. The same way I don't think he bought Havertz to play up top necessarily. He just likes players that can play in loads of positions. Look at all of our non-natural fullbacks that are actually centre backs. You know what I'm saying? I think he's excited by the fact that he can play on both wings. I think he has been primarily purchased to give some level of support to Saka because Reece Nelson is going. Arteta hates my boy Reece. He's never trying to give him 0 minutes. All of his minutes are like, hit damn minutes, like have that, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we needed someone who can play on the right. Don't get me wrong. If I'm seeing Madueke start on the left and Saka playing 90 minutes of every game, I might start throwing stuff at Arteta the next time I go to the Emirates. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal, if you're watching this, I'm joking. Please don't ban me.
I was going to say you're asking for trouble. Cam, quickly wrap this up because I want to move on.
I was just going to ask, because when I watched your guys' pod before, obviously a big topic was like Eze maybe, but I've not really seen many links. Is that still a thing, or like is it something that's been a slow burner? Palace are quite difficult to.
No, they're still linked heavily, man. Yeah, the links are out there. There's still that one looks. I know there's been a Rodrigo chat over the last 24 hours, 48 hours, but I think the Eze one. It seems like you guys just don't
been
want
going
to
cold recently, though.
That's what I mean. Like, do you guys think he'll like? So I think if he plays tomorrow, I don't think you get him if he starts tomorrow, for example, in the match.
I think the Eze one's kind of gone. The Eze one's kind of gone cold recently, just because there's this release clause that apparently expires within a certain amount of time. But we're basically saying we don't care whether the release clause is there or not. We'll pay close to the fee, but we want it over like much longer installments. So I think we're just trying to wait them out and just see by the end of the window if they need more money or something. But like if you lot come in for Guehi and you end up getting him, then they're probably not going to sell him. So I don't know what kind of game we're playing at the moment, but I hope it works out.
It's a tricky one.
Go
on, bro.
I think I see more of a 10 than a winger. So I'm really looking at this whole dynamic which you guys are talking about. And is that where does he fit in this lineup? So again, the fee, the wage, it doesn't make sense to me for the outlay that's going to cost. Because he's I think 10. So
Eze's wages aren't going to be crazy though.
It's not going to be, man. Yeah, I don't think so. And I think it goes to what Razor just said earlier. Like Arteta's got a wild fetish for players that can play in multiple positions. So I know Eze's better centrally, no doubt he is. But it happens to be that Arsenal's cam or central attacking midfielder is coming off a pretty big stinker. So it does help to have another option in there, right? And then he can also play left wing as well. So I think that one's more of a banker than the Rodrigo one. I don't know if that will happen. I think that's still tricky. But let's move on to Chelsea because otherwise we'll be stuck here for another half an hour. All right, Chelsea. Geez, this is going to take me forever. So I'm gonna have to skip some dons I've never heard of, which is half of the people on this list. So you've got Esteval, 30 mil, Delap, Pedro, Gittins, Hato, and then you've got a few youngsters that I think you've bought and already loaned out, or I think Asugo maybe is still there for now. Selling wise, you've done an absolute madness again. Money laundering, I say, allegedly. Kepa, Petrovic, 25 million. Felix, Madueke, obviously we've chatted about him enough. Broha, Dewsbury Hall, and Ogachukwu. All right, Reese, give me the chat. What do you make of the window so far? I know you're linked with a couple more players. You've still got Siemens, and you've got Garnacho as well, which I know me and Nash are happy about. But what are you rating the window so far?
I think even now you still have to give it a B because we haven't addressed certain areas like a goalkeeper. We couldn't get Maignan over the line. I think we was haggling over like a couple million on that front, and just because of his age and this policy we've got, but it's still a key area that needs addressing. Although give him his due, Sanchez played the game of his life against PSG. I don't think I've ever seen him play a game like that. So maybe that's a sign of things to come. So yeah, if we could have addressed the goalkeeper, and I think we are a bit light at centre back now, even with Colwell out. I mean, we've got Tosin, Chalobah, Badiashile, and Fofana, but it's just, do we have the quality to take us for a 38 game league season, along with the different cup competitions we want to be involved in? So I still can't give it, even though we did address the striking situation, we've upgraded on our wingers slightly. Like I would have to say, like, it's still a B. I really like Esteval. He looks really positive on the right side of the wing. He looks like he's forging a strong partnership with Cole Palmer already. And the thing is, the players we brought in now, it's looking like it takes a bit more pressure off Cole Palmer to produce that kind of moment where we need something to happen in a game. Like last season, we struggled a lot against low blocks. Our build-up play is quite slow, and it can get quite frustrating at times when you can't find an opening or to break the lines. So I feel like the players we've got now, Gittins, he looked very positive on the wing yesterday. Very good close control and direct. Like we need direct wingers. So I do appreciate we've got good quality depth now that will help us going forward, but it's just still in defense. I don't think it's enough to push us over the line in all four comps. So yeah, in terms of like what's coming in, Garnacho, I mean, I honestly, as much as I'm not happy about it, I honestly see it as a stopgap. You know what Chelsea are like in terms of hustling players, moving them on, trying to create a bit more value. I see it as if we don't get the fee that we want to pay, it could work out as another Sancho deal where we take him, try before you buy, send him back if you don't want him, pay a bit of more of a fee. But even if we do take him on, I mean, I'll give him 2 years, and I think we'll try flip him and move him on because we've got Quenda, who's joining from Sporting next season. Still got Tyreek George, even though he's linked with a move away. So yeah, I mean, there's always one transfer you're not going to be happy about as a fan, but I wouldn't mind Garnacho because he'll just be cover. I can't see him getting into the first team, and yeah, if we need cover, look, Maresca we trust right now, man. He's turning up and like taking teams that just won Champions League and that out the game. Like, so I can't fault what he's doing. I mean, there's certain aspects of our game I don't appreciate, like maybe like the fullback's not really bombing forward anymore, and I think Cucurella has started to play up front for some reason. Yeah, but you can't. He's winning and he's doing it his way. So yeah, I'd give it long story short, I'd give it a B in terms of transfers. Who knows, like Simmons, even with Simmons and Garnacho, unless we address a goalkeeper and maybe like a top quality centre back, it's still always going to be a B because those are now the key areas that we need. But yeah, but top marks on player sales as well because we're just making money right now.
Money over fist, but it's crazy. Yeah. But as much as I agree with what you're saying, the Garnacho copium has actually killed me, man. He hasn't even signed the player, and he's already talking about selling him. So that is mad. That is the wildest approach ever. And I don't know why you Arsenal fans are laughing because he's coming to Arsenal in 2028 or something like that. You're the club who's going to buy him.
Relax. We'll see you in a couple of years for 50 million, lads.
Relax. I do want to know what the Chelsea like sells, like what judge you lot banged at Stamford Bridge to be selling everyone for everything. Like even like that, who is it? Like Broha. That brother, I don't think I've seen him play like more than like probably like 40 minutes since he's like I've watched since he's been at Chelsea. He looks unremarkable. All I've seen Chelsea fans do is complain about him. Where did he go? He's gone somewhere for 20 M's.
Burnley. It's got to Burnley.
Wow.
So.
You got a deal with Burnley going on because they buy a lot of your youth players and players for like above market rate, and it's happened for the last two years. So you're just flogging all your deadwood to them. Scott Parker, in it. That's why. He's the manager,
former Chelsea.
They also do the same to Arsenal, flog all their deadwood for inflated fees.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was trying to avoid that one. I was trying to avoid that one. All right. No, let's go to you, bro. Let's go to you now. What do you rate their window? And please, God, try not to chat too much about Madueke. Right? I'm not asking all three Arsenal guys. When you do your grading, maybe skip that one because we know how you feel about that one.
Nah, I think incomings. I think Delap's a good signing. I think he'll be solid for them. Esteval looks good as well. Yeah, but I think they've just. I don't know if it's a quantity. Obviously, it's like a quantity of a quality type of affair as per with Chelsea the last few years. So, I think they throw so many. Yeah, they just throw so many stones. So like, or for like they throw so much shit at the wall. Eventually, one day it's gonna stick. So I think. I like if you sound about 10 players, 10 good players, I'm sure at least 2 or 3 of them are going to be like actually decent and fit the team well. So yeah, no, I think they've had a good window. I'd say about a B as well. I think outgoings wise, it's been an A star. Like for what they've done outgoings wise, they've just completely smashed it. Like regardless of who shall not be named currently. They've just, I think, like you said, like the money that they've made in their player sales is just amazing. So I think in that regards, it's good. I think as a club being run, I think they get a lot of critiques for buying and like stockpiling all this talent. But if they can, the fact Reece even said, how you say, we're going to flip Garnacho, the fact the term flip is being used to discuss players is just crazy to me. But that's what they're doing and they're making profit on their sales. So yeah, I think A star for what they've done outgoing wise. I think maybe just a B for what they've got incoming. But I think Chelsea might actually be a bit more dangerous than people expect because I think they're going to go into the season with a lot of confidence as well after what they've done over the summer. And yeah, I think they've just got a lot to build on. And I think they'll definitely be competing for. I think they'll do a lot better than people expect this year with their signings.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree, man. Razor, what are you saying around their business?
Yeah, I think I agree in terms of the grading. I think. Like in terms, I think they've done like the very Chelsea thing is like everyone's sort of saying in terms of like, quite a few incomings, quite a few outgoings. I think they bought well. Like I said, they are going off to the furthest reaches of the parts of like Latin America and wherever else and finding like teenage wonder kids and then signing them to like Suge Knight, Death Row Records type deals. So you can't, like, when you see the talent and everyone, I haven't watched the highlights yet, but yeah, as I said, I strolled through Chelsea country and I was hearing people be like, Esteval, mate, I tell you, he's the truth, mate, Chelsea. You know what I mean? So having a player come in that you're proper excited about, especially when they're young, there's questions about it. I think picking up the lap off a relegated side is really, really good business. I think it's something that other big clubs could like sort of take note of because they don't do it enough. As I said, I feel like they get crazy fees for players, but like I think Chelsea do so much that sometimes it's easy to be like, oh yeah, like it's all going well. You know what I mean? Like Kepa for 5 mil is not good business. Do you know what I mean? Whether they wanted to get rid of him or not, like they could have gotten a lot more money for him. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think stuff like that, because there's so much going on, it's less under scrutiny there. But I think overall they've had a really good window. I agree in terms of, I think a lot of people are underrating Chelsea or under sort of like they're not like deep in that, like, okay, cool, there's all of these players. Maresca only needs to find the right, like, not even 11, like 8. If he finds the right 8 and builds a core around them, which he's getting closer and closer to doing, as Reece said, yeah, it's looking spooky. Like, Chelsea might have officially had one of the shortest banter eras ever. Do you know what I mean? If you can call it
typical.
Yeah.
Typical. That's the way Chelsea move, isn't it? Just trophies and transfers, the 2 T's. Nash, what you saying, bro? How are you rating it?
Before we talk about the grade, this is bigger than football. This is humanitarian crisis, my brother. Chelsea are running an illegal asylum shelter, a youth hostel in Thailand, a human trafficking ring. We haven't seen people moved around nations like this since the Roman Empire, bruv. I'm telling you, man, this is bigger than football.
We're improving the economy, bro. We're
I just-
providing,
I mean,
we're
it's
providing
economy.
workers across the world. We're providing workers across the
No,
world.
but in all seriousness, though, I'm giving it a B because the strategy, while I appreciate the money ball, it's not for this game. So, like, how many wingers are you buying? How many more do you need?
Hey, wait! Don't say that, bro. Bro. Let them buy Garnacho first, and then you can start fussing their wingers.
We'll take you to B+ then.
All right,
I need Garnacho off the books.
What are you doing, man? We need that cash so we can get Carlos, mate. That's what we need. We need that Carlos fund. You've seen the GoFundMe go live for Carlos. We need money.
Even now with the striker position, you've bought João Pedro, Delap, and you're getting rid of Jackson. But to be fair, I think Jackson's better than both of them. And truly, so I'm like, what are we actually doing with this strategy?
Bro,
I've watched firsthand Jackson live with my own two eyes.
It's like Noni, sometimes it's not aesthetically pleasing.
Jackson had 2 years to cement his spot as our number 9, 2 seasons, and in the most important games, he's gone missing, and I've seen it myself. Like
the way your squad was constructed, man.
Big top 4 challenge. Big top 4 challenge. You go and get yourself sent off in against Newcastle when we're trying to go for the top 4. Where's the mentality in that? Like, don't get me wrong. He's a good striker. I think he links the play well. But in 2 seasons, he's just come up short. So I do think both are an upgrade. Sorry to cut you off, Dash.
No, you're bugging, bro. Game week 5 when you're calling for the next striker to join you, innit? I'm just saying,
bro. No. Let's keep cutting Nash off. He's bugging. There's no way those 2 strikers are not better. They're absolutely better than Jackson. All right. From one rubbish striker to a team who had a rubbish striker up until recently. Ken, what you rate in this window?
Could have been us as well. I'm going to give them a B. I think, firstly, because they've kept their manager, which is kind of rare. But so there's some continuity there. And then I think Reece mentioned earlier, like, also they correct me if I'm wrong, but I think didn't they have the average, like the youngest average age for either the squad or the first team last season? I'm not sure. So there's still like a lot of room for improvement for that team. I do like Esteval. Everyone's mentioned. No one's really mentioned Gittins. I think he looked really good yesterday. Actually, I think he's going to be a good player for you guys. Delap will do his thing. Obviously, he was never going to go to the other team, so that was an easy purchase for you guys. We're always talking about like how well they sell, but they've always been like that, to be honest. Like going back to Matic, Mata, David Luiz, they've always sold really well under both Abramovich and Bowley, to be fair to Chelsea. So like maybe they're running a sweatshop, I don't know, but like they're doing their thing. I think obviously they had a good year last year, getting to a couple of finals, winning them both as well. So they have that experience as well as young players and a young team. So I think they've done well. They've plugged, they've added like some decent players that you think will actually start rather than just bringing in people for the sake of it. So I think they'll be a dangerous team. They were difficult to play against for a lot of our clubs as well. So I think they could do something dangerous this season, man.
No, there's some weird alliance now because you guys both sell well and you've been splashing all the cash and you're basically mini Chelsea now with the transfers.
Well, you guys,
so I'm not buying that.
Have money because you just reopened Carrington. So that whole interview with Gary Neville was just a lie.
Yeah, we lie, bro. We lie.
Not running out of cash, man.
Yeah, we're liars. We're big old liars.
Fake broke.
But we haven't got to the United section yet. Put your gun down. Wait like 5 minutes. Let's get Johnson's opinion first, and then you can start shooting. Johns, give me the Chelsea grading.
I'm gonna say the famous Jay-Z quote, right? They are not a businessman, they are a businessman, right? Now clearly they don't care about what like gaps they need to fill or don't need to fill. They just care about opportunities in the market, right? They're like Warren Buffett out here. They're not buying these companies because they need to. They're buying these companies because they see opportunities with all of them. And I think from the point of view of like the people that they bought, if you were playing manager or whatever, you'd be happy with the names that you've got on here, because this is half of the FM1 list just in one team. So from that point of view, I feel like, yeah, it doesn't fit all of the gaps. Like, why have they not bought a better striker? Sorry, not a better striker, a goalkeeper. Because the goalkeeper is clearly probably the worst part of the team. So that part doesn't make any sense. But when you think about the other areas that were weak, if you think about like the wingers, right? They were a bit iffy last season. They managed to shift one of them for a good amount of money to someone else and then buy in a couple of good ones, right? They've got now, you know, Dap and João Pedro. I'm going to be honest with you. I think João Pedro is going to end up being one of the best signings of the season. He's looking like he's going to absolutely cook. Everyone knows he's been a baller since he was at Watford and even earlier than that. And just nobody wanted to take the chance on getting someone that was relatively young. I think the only issue with him might be that he's got a bit of that Nico Jackson streak in him, where he also gets sent off quite frequently too, because he throws his elbows around. So you just have to watch that. But it's okay, because you've got Rory, you got Delap out here, Liam Delap, who's going to come in and just throw elbows immediately after he's on as well. So you're just going to be a rough up kind of team. But honestly, I think, yes, you haven't filled all the gaps. But I think, I mean, if you look at it, it's been a month. You've made like 8 signings and sold like 20 people. So in the next 3 weeks, you think they're not going to do anything? They're going to do something as well, right? They're going to get signings, they're going to get someone else. They'll probably go and get a keeper. So I think at this point in time, I just think that their outgoings have been so good that even where they're missing in the ingoings, the outgoings are going to put them in a position where if they really do have a good market opportunity to go get a good goalkeeper or a good centre back now that, you know, Colwell's out, like they're going to have money to do that, because they spent probably half what they've sold. And look at half the people that they've sold. Half the people, like Humphreys for 12 million. Who the fuck is that? Samuel Smith for 6.5 million. Like, who are these dons that you're selling? So
it's
I mean,
tax, bro. It's carbon tax.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? Like maybe they'll pop up in 3 years' time at Liverpool, like bang it off on the whatever, and then you're going to regret it a little bit. But right now, it looks like amazing business, because we could barely get that for fucking Eddie Nketiah, and he was supposed to be our number 40, fucking, you know what I mean? So I don't know how you're doing it. You've got Blueco are really just showing everyone else all the how it's done at the moment. But yeah, I can't fault them. So I'll give them a B+ for now. If they get a goalkeeper and a centre back, then they're probably at A.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I think that's pretty much all of you guys agreed on that, to be honest. In terms of the grade, we're looking at Bs across the board, where the pluses or minuses makes sense. And yeah, they're definitely gonna flog more players. That's guaranteed. You see Romano tweeting about it every fucking 5 minutes that they're trying to flog more players. So they're gonna get more cash in. And yeah, they'll definitely get either Simmons or Garnacho, or maybe both. Who knows? But all right, let's go on then. Let's move on to the last team on this list. Hated, adored, never ignored, United. So we got 3 players that we've bought, 4 players now, because obviously Sesko's here we go. Got Cunha for 62.5 and Buemo for 71. Diego Leon from Paraguay, and then Sesko has been here we go'd. Hold that, Newcastle. So yeah, sales, we've not really sold anyone, same as the last United probably did last week. Obviously chat about Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony, Malacia, and then now Højlund stuff, obviously with the Sesko. I haven't given any grades, so I'm going to kick off this one, and I'm going to say that we, at the moment, I think the last pod I said C, right? That was not Sesko in, no Baleba, links, which still got me a bit shook. I don't want to commit to that one yet. I'm going to go slightly up and give it a B-, because I'm not going to lie. When we were chatting on the pod last week, I think we both agreed, or we were both more veering towards Watkins if we were going to get a striker in, get the Prem-proven striker in there, a bit older to help, and then, you know, develop Chido or Xerxes or someone else around him. But we've obviously gone for the FM Wonder Kid, as John's put it just now. Big fee. So yeah, the jury's going to be out, but it's good to be linked with these players as well with Baleba. Honestly, I'll lose my head if we get Baleba. that grading's going up massively just off the back of that. But the thing that does worry me is the outgoings, man. I'm starting to get pissed off with seeing our players reject moves. Like I saw stuff about Anthony rejecting moves now because he only wants Betis. Like, what's he on? Why does he want to go Betis so badly? What's so amazing about Betis? Like, he's been linked with like way better teams. No offense to them, and he's just turned everything down. Sancho's doing Sancho business, and yeah, I'm a bit worried on that side. But hopefully we can get Flog Garnacho to Reece. We can hopefully get Højlund out of here because he's useless. And then, yeah, complete that Baleba signing. And then you might see me move a bit mad on the group chat. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Nash, we'll get you in quickly before the hate starts filling in. What's your review of the transfer window so far for us?
It's a B-, man, because while Chelsea are running a free slave market over here, we can't give it away for free. No one wants to leave. They're here for lifetime contracts. And also, I'm still not sure I agree with the squad construction because, you know me, I'm very much Bruno should have left for the 100 M's because this system that my man wants to play, I just don't see a place for him. So for as long as he's here, my transfer gain can never be above a B. The construction of the squad doesn't make sense.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to skirt over the fact that it's not about squad construction with Bruno with you and that you're your biggest hater.
Strategy, because if you say outgoings part of this transfer strategy, so as long as it's here, the squad just won't work in the long term. So it is part of the transfer strategy.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I don't disagree with the point though. It's looking tricky to work that 2-man midfield at the moment. It doesn't look like we've got the right ingredients for it.
And the ones we have are old and decrepit. So what are we doing?
Yeah, we've got to get rid of Casemiro as well. That's an elephant in the room. All right, we'll go for the biggest hater first. Come on, get your rubbish out, get your waffle, and then we can hear from the rest of the lads.
I'm gonna give you guys a C, because you're just throwing money at strikers that they're not going to get supplied anyway. You don't have a midfield to actually help them. You've got players that don't want to be there but are happy to go home with their paycheck every month still there. Don't know how you afforded the training ground, but at least people have like somewhere with no leaks, I guess. But so I think Cunha's a good signing. He's a good player. Discipline aside, but he's a good addition. Not sure about the cost. Kinder Bueno, we'll see how he gets on. He was really good last season, to be fair. Or was that just a flash in the pan? Above his XG, maybe it will go back down. We don't know. Ideally, yes, but I just don't know. I from looking at how Amorim played at Lisbon and the suffering that he wanted to bring to you guys and his style of play, I just don't know what you're doing. Because are you keeping Højlund? Are you keeping Zerkamp? What are you doing? You're adding Tesco. Like, I actually don't understand what you're doing. Like, what's your formation going to be? Like, I don't actually understand what you guys are doing. I love it personally.
What are you talking about? How can you question the formation? Your squad construction.
You should have sold Bruno. Really, if you want to get Balaba and another midfielder in that can actually run, then you should have sold Bruno ages ago. To be honest, when Saudi were coming for him, so you guys fumbled that one. But honest to God, you've added some guys that can run a bit more up front and maybe they'll score. I think Sesko's got decent shot technique. I don't really rate him. I wish you guys let him go to Newcastle for personal reasons, but I'll leave that one. But I actually just don't understand what you guys are planning to do. I don't know what you're planning to do. At the back, you were a mess. You might improve your goal difference to 0 by these additional strikers, but I think you'll make the top half, maybe Conference League or maybe back into the Europa League, but we'll see. The window's not over yet. I'm annoyed that you're linked with Balaba and suddenly have money to be doing things. I genuinely thought you guys were going to be penny pinching for a bit and managing your money and taking your time. But no, you've gone straight back to just throwing money at anyone and seeing how it goes, man. So it's not worked over the last 10 years. So I'm going to give you a C at best because there's nothing to change how you've been so far when you've just overpaid for players that I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bite. That's the biggest pile of shit we've heard on the pod so far. But I'm not gonna bite because we're at 1 hour and 5 minutes and we've got to do the predictions. So Razor, please cleanse my ear palate from hearing that pile of shit and give me something semi-decent, please.
I'm so sorry. I feel like Ken was being a little bit. I feel like Ken was being a bit generous given the hatred. I'm not gonna lie, broski. You man have had a comedy of errors, as Shakespeare and them man would put it, defensively and in between the sticks. What's going on? You're buying more strikers, more unproven strikers for bare peas.
Unproven. We bought in Buemo and Cunha, mate.
No. They're your wide players. And do you know what? Yeah, I agree. Again, fuck me. Why do I keep saying this? I agree with them because they got 30 between them. They got like what 35 goals in the Prem last season. So you probably get your goal difference up to 0. Who have you signed that is gonna stop any top 8, top 12 team from just clapping it on you, man, again and again and again? You're still gonna have a Nana in between the sticks. I can't lie. Also, we did a lot of talking about selling when it came to Arsenal. We did a lot of talking about selling when it came to Chelsea. United's grade might even be a D based on their selling. Because at least when it came to us, yeah, and we were like, right, Takahiro, I love you, my boy. Japanese lightning and that. You're never fit, so you got to go. Like, we released, man. Did we sell him? Technically, no, but we got him off the books. You man are getting big offers for players that are refusing to go. You man have got holes in the team, or like the way that your manager's vision is set up in terms of how he wants to play football. And you got players that don't fit that profile that you can't get rid of. And you're trying to bring in other players. And like I said, Kem keeps talking about Carrington, innit? Like, you lot sacked off the dinner ladies, bruv. That's peak. You fired the dinner ladies and then you whipped out bare money for forwards. You haven't replaced Casemiro. You haven't got a new goalkeeper. Do you know what I'm saying? It just like, it feels like if Chelsea feels like playing Football Manager, then United feels like logging on to my little cousin's Football Manager save, where he's like, yeah, defense in the keeper. I don't really care about that though. Let me go sign the best striker I can get. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to fix all of your problems. So yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think I cleansed the thing for you.
Nah, you didn't, bro.
United are that first week when your student loan drops, and you just go.
I'm gonna step in, yeah. So
buying a pair of Copper Mondials to wear twice.
Exactly. But I'm gonna rebuttal a few of those things, yeah. Some of it I do actually agree with though, minus Kem's waffle, right? Like the goalie is definitely an issue. I hate Onana. Like, get him out of here, right? That's definitely a big problem. I'm not as negative on the defense as you guys, because I don't think that those guys are the problem in the team. Far from it. The goalie's an issue and the midfield's an issue. It leaves them exposed. But I think if you solve the midfield issue, even maybe before the goalie issue, it's going to make things a hell of a lot better. But you definitely need to improve those. But I am going to use your point, Razor, that you used to the Arsenal lads about the transfer strategy. So I don't think that these men don't think those problems exist. I think they do think they exist. They just, the order of the signings is not going in the way that most football fans and United fans want them to go. Although they have a good argument. We scored, 44 goals last season. That's abysmal. There's no firepower in that team that we had back, at least when Ruben joined, right? And he flogged all the attackers that we had that didn't fit in the system or he didn't like them. So they needed to get maybe not a whole new attack, but I understand the logic on it. So maybe the way they're landing is not the order that you guys think makes sense for what the big priorities are. But I think they can argue that it would be as well, because we needed those attacking midfielders and we needed a new striker, because my eyes can't see Højlund play up front again for another season. It's just I can't go through that pain. So I hear some of the points though. I get it. The selling stuff as well. The point you made about Tomiyasu, as much as I love him, I agree. But United have done the same. They've let go of Lindelof. They've let go of Eriksen. Those are big earners. They've let Rashi go to Barcelona. That whole 350 or whatever he was on the books is gone. I don't agree. I think we need to sell better. But yeah, the Arsenal selling might not be
Lindelof in 2025.
Come on, bro. Like Lindelof's on 200k. Lindelof's on 200k. That's Woodward's fault, right? That's them giving them too much money. But we're following a very similar path. Arsenal and United are both atrocious at selling or getting rid of players, and we're both very much in that boat, unfortunately. But I hear you with most of the points. But Aya, what are you saying? Give your grade, please, God.
I'm actually not as down on it. I actually think your front three is pretty dangerous now. So in terms of grading, yeah, I was thinking you have to give it like a pretty high B, so B plus, if not like I just think the front three is actually pretty good. I think Cunha's a baller, and Bremer obviously, yeah, same thing Kem said. Is it a one season wonder? I don't think so. I think he's actually just a very talented player. So I think honestly, your front three is pretty dangerous, and I think even the first game of the season when you play us, yeah, I actually think it could cause some problems because Sesko, I'm not too sure of. Obviously, we were linked to him as well. I was happy we got Gorka over Sesko, but I think he caused problems. Like he's a big boy. He gets in behind. He will cause some trouble for defenders. And yeah, I think Cunha and Bremer are both tricky. Obviously, got the Premier experience as well. Had both like fantastic years last year. So yeah, obviously, yeah, he haven't addressed the other positions, but I think in terms of what you brought in, I generally, yeah, obviously, and as I said, the window's not over yet, but I think if you get like a centre mid and another defender, I genuinely wouldn't be too mad as a United fan because I think you've actually made some pretty good signings. I think the money you spent on them is a bit more than I would have spent. Like the fees are a bit high, but I think Sesko, you got him for 70 mil, and I think when we were linked with him, Leipzig were asking for like over like 90 or something. So I think in that regards, you've done pretty well getting him for that price. So yeah, I'm not as downtrodden on your signing as everyone else is. So which is surprised me because I do despise United as well. I hope to see hope to see you guys suffer for as long as possible. It brings me great joy. But yeah, signings wise, yeah, I actually don't think it's been bad business. I don't think you're going to be in top 4, but yeah, definitely better than last year. And yeah, don't think it should be as mad as it looks on paper, I'd say.
There you go. Minus the last little the hating PSA at the end. A logical fan. Thank you, bro. Thank you, John T. Come on, let's keep the streak going, bro. Let's keep it going. What are you saying?
I'm giving you a B plus, right? And I think this is the important thing for everyone in this chat to realize that they finished 15th last year. How many clubs that finished 15th do you see go out and buy two of arguably the best goal scorers that we've got in the league, right? Think about it. And they've scored 44 goals last season. They let in 54, right? In terms of where they placed the league on goals scored, they were like 16th. In terms of goals conceded, they were like 11th. So when we talk about like where they need to be improving, it's clearly in the goal scoring area. And again, we're talking about a team that came 15th. Do you see Everton last year going and buying Mbeumo and Cunha and Sesko? No. From the point of view of them being crap and next year to be a bit less crap, this is an unbelievable window for them, right? If they're aiming to come 8th, they've got probably the right to go and do that, right? In Cunha and Mbeumo, they basically bought 35 goals between them. And yes, they were overachieving in terms of XG. But even if you bring them down to XG and let's say they score half of those goals next season or 2/3 or 3/4 of goals next season, still unbelievable purchases for them. They think about Højlund scoring what? How many goals did he get last season? Like 4 in the league, max? That is a massive, massive upgrade. I think Sesko is probably the biggest if, right? Because we don't know if he's going to bang straight away. It's difficult to go from Germany to the UK league or from any league outside of the UK into the Premier League. It's always a big step up. But I think you've got to look at it and just say, as a 50-place club, this is an unbelievable window for them. So I'm giving them a B plus. I think that they need to get a new goalkeeper, though. That's very clear. Onana, and I would say of those 54 goals, at least 14 of them were just purely his fault. So if you give it and you get a goalkeeper that maybe chucks in 3 or 4 clangs a year instead of 15, then you're down to 44 goals conceded, or you're down to 42 goals conceded, and they might end up having more than a 0 goal difference. So I'm giving them a B plus, and I'm going to reiterate: Arsenal have had the worst window out of it already.
soon as Johnny started talking, I remembered what he said at the end of his Arsenal thing, and I was like, yeah, I know exactly where this is going. Because even when he made that comment, I was like, raw, how does he feel like we've had a worse window than United? And now I know.
Yeah, very, very logical. All good points made in my book. Reese, let's wrap it up before we get into the prediction part. What's your take on the United window so far?
I slightly agree with John T in the sense that how do you finish 50 and you're able to spend that type of money on players? I would maybe give it a B slightly because they are addressing areas where there was a lack of goals. And Mbeumo scored plenty of goals last season. Cunha is a great creative force going forward. And Sesko, I mean, I think his last few seasons, he's getting double figures comfortably in all competitions. So I think he will definitely improve going forward. And once he adapts to the Premier League, his link-up play will get better as well, especially with Mbeumo. He loves working with strikers, good ones that can score. So I see it as a positive on that front. I possibly in the midfield, I do think they do have a lack of legs in terms of, I guess, Bruno. Can he play that role? Casemiro definitely is past it. It looks like Kobbie Mainoo's been a bit sidelined from what I can see. Does Amorim rate Mainoo? It'd be interesting to see who he fancies to play that double pivot role. And then I think defensively they've got some good a good prospect in Len Yoro. De Ligt obviously is a quality player, and Martinez when he can stay fit. So if they address the goalkeeper and the midfielder, you'd have to say it was a top quality window for Man United. But I still think there's areas that need addressing. And then, like a few months ago, you'd had Jim Ratcliffe screaming poverty. So I think you talk about us being investigated, Nash. I think some benefit frauds needs to get onto you, man, because I don't know how you're finishing 50. All of a sudden, the money's there. What have the Glazers stopped taking their dividends or something? What's happening?
let's hope so, bro. Because they've taken $1 billion out of us. So yeah, they've had their fill. They can jog on. But let's wrap it up, guys. Wow, 1 hour on the grading. That's not what I thought was gonna go on. But all right, let's go to the predictions then. So quickly before we get into it, and we'll go category by category. We've got how many is it? 8 categories we're going to give predictions for the season. Obviously, there's still 3 weeks of the window, so we'll come back to this after the window shuts, and we'll have maybe 2 or 3 changes for every person. But we're obviously going to predict winners, top 5, so all the Champions League clubs, so the remaining 4, and then top 8, so 6th, 7th, and 8th. Relegation, player of the season, young player of the season. So the caveat we've added is they've got to be 21 and under. So Kem, don't try and fucking get Harvey Elliott into this, all right? We're not going to do it like the Euros, all right? And then best and worst signing. So we'll start off with the winners. We'll start off with you, Io, your top left of my screen. So give me who your winner's going to be and just a little bit of a flavour as to why you picked them.
It hurts to say, but I think Liverpool go back to back. Unfortunately, I think they take it again. I think they strengthened. I think they were miles ahead last year, and I think they've just strengthened a bit more. And I think another season of Arne Slot, another summer of him kind of implementing what he wants them to do is only going to do them like a world of good. So unfortunately, I think Liverpool take another title. Back to Anfield. And I think they're going to be motivated after as well, the whole Jota passing as well. So I think they've got a lot more to play for in terms of that as well. So I can imagine them being a bigger force than they were last year.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Do you want me to just keep answering?
No, I think that we'll move around. Yeah, we'll come back to you with top 5 and we'll do that after. So, John, so what are you saying? Do you agree with Liverpool or are you going to shock us and throw someone else in there?
No, it's going to be Liverpool again. The 2 biggest challenges to them, Arsenal and Man City, have not strengthened enough during the window to make up the gap that there was last season. I don't think Liverpool are going to massively drop off from where they were last season. they're going to end up being even better. They've got Verts now. They've got all these players. So if they get Isak as well, it's over for all of us for the next 3 years. Just everyone just chill out, get a pina colada, go chill at the beach. Don't need to walk anymore because it's all over. So yeah, let's just all hope that Newcastle stay very strong and put back in under 21 for the next season or something.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It is definitely going to be rough going if they get Isak, but for now they don't. So let's see what happens. All right, Nash, go on, mate. Who's your winner going to be? You going to make it 3 out of 3? Or are you going to throw a spanner in the works?
Actually.
Okay, all right.
Pep's got his wife back, marriage back on track. And while Liverpool's business has been more flashy, I think Man City have actually done a really good job of refreshing their squad. I really like the work they've done in the midfield, and people are forgetting Haaland is better than Isak. So, I think City are back in this. They're being underrated.
Yeah, I think so, man. A lot of people are definitely not factoring City in this race from what I've seen anyway, outside. So it makes sense to throw them in there. Kem, what are you saying? Are you gonna puff your chest out? Are you gonna back your boys, or are you gonna bottle it?
It's a great point by Nash with City, but I'm gonna go with Liverpool for sure. Especially if we do get Isak, then I think I need Chelsea. I don't know if Reece is there. Please give him Nicholas Jackson. Just give him a discounted rate, man. Just figure it out behind the scenes. America, PIF, do a little preseason tour in Saudi Arabia or something. But I need someone to go to Newcastle so we can free Isak, so we can actually start training again properly. I'm going with Liverpool. I do think that I do think obviously, yes, we've had a great summer, but as it always happens, when you bring in a lot of different players at the same time, it's not always been a success for teams. Even Guardiola's first season at City. So that could be a factor as well. Slot had a great season last year, obviously, but it was the same core group that we'd had for a while. Key players have been moved out of the team, or they'll definitely not be in the squad anymore. That's both fullbacks, changing of the midfield, and obviously we've let go of one of our wide forwards. But I think we're creative enough, and we've added creativity, and we just need someone to put it in the back of the net, unlike that noodles that we finally got rid of. So I'm going with the Reds, man.
All right, so 3-1 at the moment. Razor, what are you saying? You going to go Liverpool as well?
Yeah, not with any level of enthusiasm, but yeah, I think, do you know what, like the way I would frame it, the reason that Liverpool are my prediction to win the Prem this year is because I believe it's Liverpool's league to lose. So yes, there are other teams. I think we all pretty much agree on like the other 3 teams that are probably going to make up that top 4. But yeah, I think it's their league to lose. They won by such a distance. I actually don't think they will win by as significant a distance this year, purely because I think they're going to be motivated, like was mentioned earlier, to chase on more fronts. Like, I think Liverpool probably a little bit disappointed with their Champions League sort of performance last season, even though they're like very gassed by winning the Prem. I think that's something that they're going to want to like stick it like to everyone in and show that, like, they're Liverpool when it comes to Champions League. We don't really need to talk about it. I mean, that's going to be a desire to be back amongst the top teams there. So I think, yes, it's still their league to lose. I think, as Kem just said, like integrating a whole new like wave of players and probably bringing in some more of Slot's like football ID on the club as well. I think, what we kind of saw last season was that Liverpool had most of the tools to win the league. They probably just needed some new energy, new ideas in the dressing room. Now he might bring too much new energy, too many new ideas in. But I still think it's their league to lose. And I think, as we all said, if they get in Isak, then pina coladas and NBA highlights, to be honest. But the Mavs aren't doing me any more favors than the Gunners, so I don't know.
Yeah, long day. Yeah, I hear you. All right, Reece, what are you saying? Are you going to make it? What is it now? 4 of you've gone Liverpool, yeah? 1 City. Are you gonna go with the dark side and say Pool, or are you going to throw in a different team? Back your boys. Come on, man.
Remember we had this conversation last year about you lot telling me it was in a title race when I know I've been there and I know when my team is in a title race. So I'm definitely not putting us forward for a title race this year as well, lads. I'm sorry.
What?
Look, ask me again in December though. I might, anyway, you have to, just based on the fact Slot came in, picked up a team that was already there in itself, and he's strengthened to that point. Yes, obviously it's going to take a bit more integration, but who's to say they're not going to integrate fast? Like a TK, quality player. Of course, if they get Isak, his role might be a bit different within the team. Vert's very good creatively. I think you have to give it to Liverpool to win, but similar to what Ray said, I don't see them running away with it like they did. I think Pep will. I think last season that hurt him, and maybe he wants to address that. So I don't see City sort of lying down like they did. I think they've sort of not refreshed a great deal, but they have refreshed their squad. Tijani Reinders is a great midfielder. Cherky, for the price that they got him for, that's amazed me. So I wouldn't count City out at all. I do see them going close with Liverpool, but I see Liverpool just getting it over the line. But I think it also depends on how deep Liverpool want to go into competitions. Like, I don't think they can fight on all fronts and retain a league title. It's very difficult to do that. So I think it could change depending on how the season pans out at the start. But I would right now, it's looking like Liverpool based on transfer efforts and like the established squad that Slot took over last season.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because Liverpool don't normally go this big. It's rare. So that we don't normally have these conversations about how many players need to fit into the team. They've obviously had a manager for like 8-9 years. Correct me, Kem, if I'm wrong. So they've had a lot of continuity, and like obviously last season, Slot barely did anything to the team. He basically just took the same team, tweaked it, and made them play the way he wanted, and got the best out of them. But now you're obviously 4 players in so far, 4 new ones, first teamers. 3 of them coming from outside the league. I don't know. It's kind of uncharted territory. But I've also gone Liverpool, but I think it's going to be a slog, man. And I think there's going to be points where a few other teams are going to really kind of back their own chances in a race. I don't think it's going to be a foregone conclusion. I think it's going to take a while, especially if you think like Trent was their main creative hub from right back. Right, I know he kind of dipped in and out of the team after the rumours ramping up that he was going to leave, but traditionally that team has been a Trent creative team, and now they're moving the creativity to a Cam. So you're going from, and Cam, don't bite at this, someone who's just running around all the time in that position and not really offering that much creatively, to that position now has to be your creative hub, right? If Bertz plays there. So it's a big shift, man. So I think they'll still do it because no one's mentioned they've still got Salah, still got Van Dijk, these world-class players. Like that's what's going to carry them. I don't think this. I think the extra new signings will just be coming in and out and offering things. I think Kirkes will end up being the best signing out of that lot. All right, let's go to top 5 then. The rest of the top 5. So second down to 5th. Io, who you got in those positions?
Yeah, I've got City coming second, I think, and then Arsenal, then Chelsea, I would say, and then I think 5th. I might give it to Tottenham. I think they'll come back. I think Thomas Frank will get them playing a bit better football this year. So I think it won't be a repeat of what happened last year. So yeah, I think a lot of what guys said about City, I think I agree. I think, as Nash said, I think Pep getting his relationship back on track is going to change the club completely. So I think they're definitely going to be in a better state than they were last year. And so yeah, I think City will be second. Hopefully, obviously, I want Arsenal to be competing, but I'm just I'm unsure. So yeah, that's how I'd say top 5 would rank. So yeah, I got City, but I think it'd be tighter than we expect. But I think it'll be City, then Arsenal, then Chelsea, then Tottenham for my top 5.
All right, I hear you, bro. So now, this is a risky question again because we might go nuclear. So you're going from second 3 times in a row to predicting Arsenal dropping down to third.
Because I just don't think. Because I just
you're not going to lose your head.
I think as much as we've got. No, because my head is where my head is at. Ain't even. It's not in a good headspace anyway. So it can only get worse from there. To be fair, so I've accepted what my fate is really. Like I'm positive. I just don't think City are going to be bad. I don't think Pep has it in it for City to be as bad as they were last year again. And so we didn't. And then the last 2 years, we didn't capitalize on that. In the last 2 years, we finished second. And now Liverpool have improved to the level they've got to. And City, I think City are going to come back as I think as some mentioned, like Haaland. He's a great striker. Like, I think Nash said, Haaland, technically, like goal scoring wise, he's a better striker than Isak. He might not be an all-round player, but he's a better striker. So if Haaland comes back into form and they've made some good signings, I just don't see City being as far away as they were last year compared to where they were, this year again. And I think even last year when we had such a big gap coming to the end of the season, City nearly caught us again anyway. And like there was a point, it was like the last 3 games of the season, we were actually getting pretty nervous that we might not even get a second. So I just don't think we've done enough as left wing wise for us to kind of be confident. But I'm open to be surprised. Obviously, I want us to win it, but I think City will come back with a vengeance and will be a lot better than people expect.
Yeah, no, I mean logically it makes sense because Pep's not lost the league more than one season, right? Like whenever he's lost the league, he's bounced back. So you're kind of asking for history to change this season for them not to win it, let alone kind of get up there in the race. But I hear you, Johns. What's your second to fifth then?
I've actually got the same in City coming second, Arsenal coming third, Chelsea coming fourth, and Big-4 here. I hate this team with a burning passion, but I actually feel like Tottenham will come fifth because I think Thomas Frank is a great manager, and I think they've made some good signings, and I think he will really solidify them. And I think Newcastle, Villa, and the rest of the teams around them don't look like they've really improved all that much. I feel like Newcastle are just getting pied off constantly. Villa don't improving very much. They've got like these Watkins problems as well. Like looks like they want to get rid of him or he wants to leave, whatever else. So I just don't think anyone else will challenge that like fifth spot. And I feel like Tottenham madly underperformed in terms of their team. Obviously, they had crazy amounts of injuries. So I feel like they'll be able to back to a better place. And I think Tom Frank just has like that tactical like versatility to deal with so many different players. I know that they got absolutely spanked by Bayern, but I feel like give them some more time and then they'll be like a really, really solid team. So I'm going to go for them fifth. But in terms of why I've got City, like, the biggest thing everybody has to remember, right? Like Salah, Van Dijk for Liverpool are really, really important. Don't forget how flipping important Rodri is for Man City. I know that he's just like a bit of a setback and he might now be out until like the middle of September, I've heard. But when Rodri comes back into that Man City team, don't be surprised if they just start winning in ugly and just doing what they need to get over the line, right? I don't think they're going to have quite as big a stinker as they did last season. And if Rodri can come back fully fit and stay fit for that rest of that season, I even think without like, not a biggest fan of their signing in terms of really strengthening their team. I think you just can't write off Haaland, you can't write off Rodri, you can't write off this team and Pep obviously to not get close to it again. So I just think, and the reason why I don't think Arsenal are going to usurp them or get ahead of them and come second again, is just because, I mean, last season, I think we saw that people kind of somewhat figured us out when we played a certain way, even when we got really physical and did like the set piece FC stuff. People eventually figured that out too, right? And near the end of the season, we weren't scoring that many set pieces. And just from what I've seen in pre-season, I know it's not that important, but obviously pre-season is where you try out new ideas. It's where you kind of beta test what you're going to try and play in the season. And I just haven't seen very much difference in terms of us being able to break down low blocks. I mean, unless Gyökeres just beds in really quickly, and then we can keep Saka fit, and we just manage to be able to just feed him with opportunities. I just don't see how we're going to be able to really come out and beat. I'm not even going to say like the top 4 teams, because I think playing ugly we can beat them. But it's that middle pack. It's losing to the random West Ham. It's losing to the Chelseas or the this, that, the whatever. Like next season, it's losing to Newcastle. It's these type of games where we constantly lose points when we should be winning. And I just don't think that we look like we figured out how to beat those types of teams, or in terms of tactical versatility to play another style of football if we can't break down the low block. So yeah, I think it's going to be City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham.
Fair enough. I hear you. So the same. You've gone the same as Io. Then I think that's exactly what he went with. All right, Reese, what are you saying? What's your 2nd to 5th?
Well, yeah, I slightly agree. But I do feel like one of the two even though they haven't strengthened, Newcastle or Villa, I still think they'll be up there fighting. I think it's too soon for Tottenham based on the season they just had. But anyway, yeah, mine, I would go City, reluctantly Arsenal, and then just behind that, Chelsea for the top 4. And then for 5th, as bad as a transfer window it's been, I'm going to pick Newcastle, just because I like Eddie Howe as a manager, and I feel like, yes, they haven't addressed key areas. Maybe they needed centre back, but he's getting the best out of certain players. Jacob Murphy, if they do manage to get a striker, who's to say how that will go for them? Anthony Alanga is a great signing as well on the wing, so I wouldn't count them out at all. Aaron Ramsdale as well. I know he's got a point to prove, a few relegations under his belt.
A few, yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence with Newcastle and Villa, but I'm going to give it to Newcastle to get just over the line. Yeah, I think Villa might be impacted by Thursday night football as well, in the Europa League and rotation. They haven't strengthened. I think they've got one striker, so I don't know, with the PSR stuff, I don't know if they'll even enter the market again. So, but I do fancy Newcastle to sort of get that 5th spot. So yeah, that would be mine. City, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Newcastle. Sorry.
All right, cool. I mean, the Geordies need something, mate. They're having a rough time, so you've given them something to be happy about. Nash, what are you saying? What's your 2nd to 5th then?
2nd, I'm going Arsenal. 3rd, Liverpool. 4th, Chelsea. And 5th, because I'm an optimist, United. There's something.
All right,
effort, man. We've exercised the place. We've dug up the jackholes. We found oil. I'm here for it. 5th for United.
All right. So you wait, because I'm almost in shock from your 5. So you what? But
City,
City
Arsenal,
first. I know.
Liverpool,
Arsenal,
Chelsea, United.
Okay.
I'm not feeling that Liverpool gel. I don't think it's going to work seamlessly as they presume it is.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, that's an interesting list, man. Honestly, I'm still in shock from it, man. But at least it's different from the list before, and let's keep it positive. Nah, I hear you, bro. I'm wishing that. I'm wishing that top 5. Really, couldn't it be better? Arsenal still don't win the league. Liverpool don't win the league, and we're in top 5. Boom, can't ask for more. All right, Kem, haterade. Let's get your 2nd to 5th. Let's see what he's saying.
I think it's going to be I actually think it's going to be a really close title race, to be honest. I'm going to go City 2nd. I think because Pep got a head start on integrating all his new players in January. A lot of them have already got a few months Premier League experience. I think they use the Club World Cup as their pre-season as well. And it's true. I do think, annoyingly, he'll find a way to get them back, and they've got that old Liverpool assistant manager in as well, so they might get their intensity back as well. Ideally, Pep goes to a Coldplay concert or something to disrupt his year again. Arsenal 3rd and Chelsea 4th, just because I think Chelsea will probably still have a few little things like to deal with. I think they'll drop off in form a couple of times during the season. I think Arsenal will be more consistent than them because they do know how to win ugly. as much as I diss that you guys are so pragmatic and can be like borderline anti-football at times, at the end of the day, it's about getting the 3 points. You're not always going to be like picture perfect all year. And then 5th place, because your net spend has been so high, and obviously you're going to get your goal difference back up. I'm gonna throw United in there. You know, I expect you guys to come
again
back
something
strong,
fishy's
'cause
going
that's
on.
what you're telling me. So yeah, I'm
Something
gonna chuck you
fishy's going
straight
on.
in. You're only playing 1 game a week as well. Good for you. You know, you can be rested up all the time against everybody. So you should be ready to go from the first whistle. Even if you do go a goal down early, you should have the energy to fight back. And you ain't got to worry about any midweek games. So I'm gonna chuck you guys in 5th, man.
Backhanded compliment, but I'll take it. So we've got 2 5ths. All right, Razor, what you saying, bro? What's your 2nd to 5th?
So I had Liverpool to win. I think 2nd will be Arsenal, 3rd will be City. I think there's not gonna be a lot of points in that. And the reason that I think that is because everyone's talking about City coming back and Pep getting his mojo back, you know what I mean, getting his wife back, whatever. Regardless of Stella getting her groove back, yeah, their man had a terrible, not terrible, but terrible for City record against the Big Six last season. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think they won 3 out of 10 and they lost 5 and drew 2. Do you know what I mean? Now, everyone's saying City's going to come back. I don't disagree with that. That's why I put them high up in the rankings. But City are going to take them points off the other teams that we're talking about in this like top 4, top 6, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's going to make it a much closer run-in to the league this year. I actually think like Arsenal, City, Liverpool could all finish within like, you know, a couple of points of each other, go down to the last day as a top 3. But maybe a bit of optimism, maybe just like how I see it playing out. I think it's going to be Arsenal, City 2 and 3. I think Chelsea is probably the one that I'm most confident or feel most strongly about in terms of them finishing in 4th place. I think I learned from last year, as Reece said, telling all my Chelsea fan brethren they're in a title race. They said, no. We're just trying to make Champions League, bro. It's okay. And I feel like they're going to be in like a similar sort of finishing position. But I think because they've got crazy squad depth, I don't think they're going to like suffer as much with like playing some European football and this, that, and the other. And wild and a little bit out there, I actually think over a 38-game season, I can actually see Newcastle finish closing out that top 5. As much as I hate them, I think Tottenham have a good shot of that. But Newcastle, you know, I just think like as a unit, as a team, not too much has changed. There's obviously like terrible like sort of shit going on in terms of how they haven't been able to attract players and they got big like signings looking to leave. I'm be honest, if you believe all of the rumors, Isaac's been unsettled for a long time. He's wanted to move for a while. I think he spat the dummy this summer because he thought this was his summer, and now they're being like, nah, bro, you gotta wait a little bit more still. And he's not feeling that. And that's where you get him training with Real Sociedad and like not going on tour and this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, if he starts, I think a lot of this is dependent, you know what I mean? Like we've said so many times in this episode, if Liverpool get Isaac, if United get a goalkeeper, if Arsenal get Rodrigo, whatever, you know what I mean? If Isaac starts the season and the window closes as a Newcastle player, Eddie Howe will play him at some, like he'll have to reintegrate him into the team. You know what I mean? You don't have the second best striker in the league and not play them because they're being a dickhead or because they're sick of being here. Do you know what I mean? He's going to need to use that as a shop window again. And I think he's going to bang goals when he's available and fit and once he's been reintegrated into the team. I don't think they're going to have that gel-in or like adjusting period because, you know, they're a team that have played together, manager together, team together. And I think Newcastle, you know, they won their first major trophy in time last season. Do you know what I mean? So I think they're going to be looking to build on that. And I think Champions League is a bit beyond them. I think, you know, winning another domestic cup is there for them. But I think they're really going to look to cement their position with the big boys. Probably a little bit of grit over getting treated like somebody in the group chat, not me, but somebody said new cuckle. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to, I personally, that would put a fire in my belly. Like I would be like, yo, what do you mean? Nobody wants to come here and everybody wants to leave. Like go out there and show them, man, why Tyneside is really about this. You know what I mean? And like give them the Newcastle have an opportunity to rubber stamp themselves on the league and be like, you man are trying to take us for idiot. I hope you know it's not that. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think they can close out the top 5.
All right. I wasn't expecting you guys to really throw Newcastle in there, considering the shocking window they've had and all the uncertainty. But I guess it makes sense. Like I know that famous was it Pep quote when he said the Harry Kane team or whatever. Newcastle have, to a lesser extent, been the Isak team. I know Gordon's chipped in, Jacob Murphy's chipped in, and then midfielders are just brick shithouses. But it all kind of, if Isak doesn't bang, it's a bit of a long day for them. So, but yeah, who knows? I do rate Eddie Howe. He's a good manager. But my 2nd to 5th, I've gone different than all you guys. I can't believe it. I can't believe you're letting Reece off scot-free and just letting him slide through with his 57 million fucking transfers that you do every season and all this Bowley business going on in the background. I've gone Chelsea 2nd. And if you're going to spend, as Kem's favourite legend says, if you're going to spend billions and constantly do all this stuff, you got to do something, man. So I'm going to put Chelsea in 2nd. I've put Arsenal in 3rd, but like you guys have all said, I think that 1 to 3 is going to be mad tight. And I think there's going to be points where all 3 sets of fans are going to think they can do it. But I think Liverpool will just nick it. And then Chelsea and Arsenal will be really, really tight. I've gone City in 4th. I don't know, man. I hear what all of you guys are saying, and you can't rule out Pep. But I don't know, man. Something about that team, the way that they've gone about this rebuilding just makes me feel odd. I know they got the guys in January, but Marmoush is the only one who really plays. All the rest of them guys have either been loaned out or they're playing under 21s. So, or they're trying to sell them, right? Who's that midfielder that they got that they're really trying to flog the Spanish don? So, yeah, I'm not sure. I like Reinders, but Cherky, I'm on him. He's a scumbag, so I'm gonna aim for him every week. He's on my hit list. So I think they'll finish 4th. I've actually put Villa 5th, man. No one's gone for it, but I've put Villa 5th. I know they haven't really signed loads of players, but yeah, I mean they've kept a lot of their players though, right? Like they've kept so far Watkins, and it looks like Newcastle are going to pivot and try and get Jackson or someone else and not really go for Watkins. So if they keep Watkins, that's good for them. Emi Martinez, I don't think we'll go for him as much as he's almost kind of twerking for us. I don't think we're going to go for him. I think we're going to go for a younger goalie if we get one, because it looks like Onana doesn't want to leave. So I think they'll keep him. And I think the rest of their squad looks strong, man. I like their midfield. And obviously Morgan Rogers looks really, really good. So I think that stability is going to be key. And then, yeah, good evening, man. You can't rule out Unai. Unai's I was almost going to say world-class manager, but he's up there. He's up there in that top bracket, I think. So yeah, I've gone Villa, man. All right, we'll go top 8. So 6 through 8. Johns, what's your 6th, 7th, and 8th?
In the interest of time and the fact that I don't care about these teams and I don't think anybody else does too, I'm going to go for Newcastle, Villa, and United. I mean, Newcastle Villa, they're the conspiracy gang now. They apparently think that there's a Premier League cartel that are stopping them from spending money. So yeah, I'm not going to say nothing more about them. Good luck in the Europa.
Fair enough. I hear you. All right, Reece, what's your 6 through 8?
I'm gonna go for Villa, Spurs, and Brighton, providing they can keep the Labour though.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, Brighton haven't done that much either, man. But they always find the gems. So they've been knocking on the door, haven't they? For like, where they finished last season? I think they finished 9th, didn't they, or something like that? Around there, they're always still
something.
Yeah.
So I think, and the thing is, I think we're not supposed to know what Brighton's transfer business is because they always go to the dark depths of the world. And you say what we like. Obviously, we go to South America. They go across the world and they pick up these talents from everywhere. So I don't think whether Brighton did any transfer business or not, I'm sure there's a few gems in there like running in that place.
Yeah, the data, their data nerd FC, right? It's come up a few times. They know exactly what to look for and where to find it. So it's interesting, a bit of a spanner in the works. So I didn't expect Brighton to be in there, but it makes sense. Yeah. All right, Nash, what's your 6 through 8?
I'm gonna go Villa, Tottenham, Newcastle.
Okay. All right. I'm seeing some like variations of the same teams in most people's. I hear it. That makes sense. Ken, what's your 6 through 8?
I've got Villa, Palace. I did have Brighton when we initially made this, but I think if you guys take Villa, I'm going to put Spurs.
Palace. All right. Please
Yeah.
unpack Palace for me a little bit, please, bro.
I think that their managers had them playing really well last season, to be honest, because a big worry for them was losing Elise, right? Everyone was saying, oh, what's going to happen to them when they lost Elise? And they proved to be actually better than they were the year before that, and came away with a trophy as well. They're a difficult team to play against in their own stadium. Obviously, I'm banking on them holding on to Eze, otherwise that would change. But I think that they're and probably Mark Guehi as well. I think they'll probably just let him go on a free. So I think that they're a solid team. I think their coach is good. They haven't really lost too many players. I think that they'll be right in there in the mix to go for it for sure. And I think they might capitalize on a few teams struggling to play every 3 days.
Yeah. No, I mean, it makes sense. I think, yeah, it's definitely caveated on not losing their star boys, right? Because if they lose Guehi and Eze, then as good as Glasner is, I rate Glasner. He's a class manager. If you lose those two players, I think it's going to be hard for them. But Razor, what are you saying? What's your 6 through 8?
6 through 8. Tottenham Hotspur, boo. Villa and United, boo.
All right.
Yeah, I hear Kem's angle, and I did think about including some of those teams like a Palace, a Brighton, Nottingham Forest as well. I think for me, like the thing with Palace is like they don't know what competition will be in, but they're going to be playing European football next season. And I think Selhurst Park is a great ground, great fans, all of that sort of stuff. I think they're going to really channel their energies into that European Cup run dream. Do you know what I mean? So I actually expect them to not maybe perform as well as they did in the league this season. But Villa, Tottenham, they are teams that played European football last season and did well for themselves in both of their respective tournaments, I would say. Villa showed up in the Champions League doing things that people didn't really think that they were going to do. And Tottenham obviously went the whole way and won a trophy there. Yeah, and United, I'm not going to lie, if United don't finish in the top 8, you man are on fraud watch. Sorry, you're playing you're not playing European football. You've spent, 200
now.
Yeah, 180, 200 mil on attackers. That should be leading the line for you every week in the Prem. If you don't finish in the top 8, fraud watch. Serious words need to be had. I think you lot should go there and start drilling more holes in the roof because it's mad.
I agree, though, man. If we can't not finish in the top 8, I would set the bar slightly higher based on what we've done so far and what we're trying to do. Yeah, there needs to be big questions asked. So I hear you. My 6 through 8, I've gone United 6th, I've gone Newcastle 7th, and I've gone Spurs 8th. I think Newcastle are going to struggle. Whether Isak stays or not, they're going to that initial part of the season, because it's not going to get resolved, I reckon, until late in the window. So the season's going to be started, and they haven't even got a striker. Because as much as I don't rate Wilson, they've lost him as well. So they're going to play that Asula kid up front who's not looked that great. So yeah, I'm not rating how they're gonna go this season. I reckon 7th would be a major win for them if they get it, but I think they'll just about do it with the rest of the players they got. And Spurs, man, you might think I'm hating putting them 8th, but I do rate Thomas Frank highly. I think he's a top class manager. I just think that business has been a bit weird. I rate Kudus. Last season was a bit weird for him, but I don't know what they're doing. I haven't really heard of them being linked with too many other players. Obviously, the Greek Suge Knight completely strong-armed Morgan Gibbs-White to stay, so they didn't get him. So I don't know what's going on with them. So I'm going to put them in 8th because I think they'll definitely improve massively, but I think it'll still be a struggle. All right, relegation, we'll zip through this. Please, if anyone hasn't put the promoted 3 teams in, just raise hands. If not, we can go through this real quick because I've got one team. All right. So there are people. All right, there's a lot of people. Nearly everyone, basically. Kem, you've gone for all 3 promoted teams go straight back down, yeah?
Yep.
All right, cool. Thank God we can skip you. I was waiting for a reason to skip. Johns, who's your Prem teams that you're getting down?
Sunderland, Brentford, and Burnley. I'm going Brentford because their whole thing has just been mullered. So I'm sorry to say them. I don't think they're going to be investing a lot of that money, nor does anybody really know who Brentford is, to quote Ivan Toney. So I think they're going to have some trouble this season. I think the bubble might have burst for them.
Yeah, I hear you. Reese, what's yours? Are you going Brentford as well?
Yeah, just based on Keith Andrews and not knowing too much about him. I think it's losing a manager like Thomas Frank, obviously it's a big thing and they've lost a lot of players. So I would go Brentford. I'm going to go Wolverhampton. Obviously Wolves. I think year on year they lose their best players. I don't think they strengthen well enough. I think Strand Larsen has obviously signed on a permanent. I think he's a good striker, but I think in general I don't see them being. It's year on year they're always threatened with relegation, but I think this is the year they come unstuck. And then I'm going to go Burnley. I quite like Sunderland's business based on obviously bought Xhaka in and they've spent quite well. Obviously lost Job. Would have been interesting to see how he does in the Prem, but I don't think it will be enough for Burnley. I think Burnley will go down. So Brentford, Wolves, and Burnley.
Okay, cool. So you've gone 2 Prem teams. Nash, what are you saying?
I'm going Leeds, Wolves, and Brentford.
Wow, you 2 as well. You've both gone Brentford and Wolves. So you think who's the manager again? The Vitor Pereira, I think.
Yeah,
you're not rating him.
Yeah, I don't see style of football working in the Prem. Well, it's beautiful, but it's just not going to cut it. They'll just go straight back down. They'll ship too many goals.
Okay. All right, I hear you. Razor, what are you saying? Are you going with the same?
Slightly different. It's definitely going to be a 5-man, maybe 6 dogfight down at that end of the table. But I've gone with Leeds, Brentford, and I'm really struggling to pick between Burnley and Sunderland. But I think maybe it's wishful thinking because of Granite, and I always, I didn't hate him as much as other Arsenal fans. Maybe I think Sunderland might have a little bit of bite there, so I might just nod to Burnley. But I think it honestly could be a coin toss between either of them. But yeah, Brentford got their chain snatched.
Multiple chains.
Yeah, don't look like they're getting it back anytime soon. I agree on the Wolves' point. I think they might just have enough to fight their way. We're talking about a United finish last season, basically, for them, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I've gone with the same, bro. I've gone the same. I've got the same as you, Razor, complete same. I've gone Brentford down, Leeds down, Burnley down. Fuck Leeds. They're definitely going down. And then Burnley, I feel like it might be between Burnley and Sunderland, actually. Because, I like Ogachukwu, man. I like some of the signings. I don't know about Scott Parker. He's didn't he just walk out on the last team he managed in the Prem after a few months? So I don't know about him as a manager, but I like some of the signings. And yeah, Sunderland's business, I think they've moved mad. I think they're almost like top 5 spenders already. They've gone and dropped a lot of cash on players, so I think they'll do well, and their support up there is good. All right, we'll do player of the season and young player together in the interest of time because we've almost hit 2 hours. John, who's your player of the season and young player of the season?
Player of the season, I think Salah's gonna not have as good a year. I think more goals are gonna be shared around kind of their attackers this year. So I think I'm going to go for Van Dijk. I think they're going to win the league. It's going to be someone from the team, and he's probably going to be the biggest fixture in that team. I think Salah's going to not going to be as good. And young player of the season, but sometimes, and I'm going for Miles Lewis-Kelly, MLS. I know Kem hates that acronym, but he's young player of the season, and you're lucky. Premier lucky that he didn't play the whole of last season, because if he did, he was winning it already last season as well.
I was waiting for that Arsenal in you to kick in. You've been quite negative so far on them. But yeah, I hate MLS. That makes sense. All right, Reese, what's your player of the season, a young player?
Player of the season, I want to go Haaland. I think if City have a good season, he's going to be at the heart of the goals. And I just think a lot of people sort of wrote off his qualities, even though he scored a lot of goals last season. So I'm going to go Haaland, player of the season. And then young player of the season, I really want to go Adam Wharton, but I do worry for Crystal Palace this season in terms of lack of signings in European football. So I think the obvious standout is Miles Lewis Skelly. If he is to have a good season, if Arsenal are to have a good season, I'm sure he's going to be at the heart of left back. So um, reluctantly MLS, but I watch out for my boy Adam Wharton.
I was thinking you might throw a Chelsea player in there because you've obviously got Esteval, you've got a few different options. But
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to get carried away. See, Esteval, listen, I watched him yesterday and I was like, this is young player of the season material. But you see the problem. We've got. We don't know how many Prem games he's going to start. As positive as he looks, and obviously Pedro Neto on the right looks very comfortable. So I'm going to hold back on Esteval. I don't want to hype him up too much. We'll let him slowly work his way into the game. But all I'll say is invest in those stocks, yeah. Just make sure you get them invested.
Honestly,
yeah.
he did look unreal yesterday.
I'm screaming Rio who Kem. you know what I'm talking about.
All right, Nash, what are you saying? Who's your player of the season, young player?
I'm going Saka, player of the season. He's been top 5 last season, and it's time. The team's on his back now. They've upgraded a lot of positions, and I think it's time to take the chain as top man in the league. And young player of the season, I'm going Lenny Yora. After an injury start to last season and the expected upgrade and leveling up the table, I think he's going to have a platform to shine. I think it's his time.
Nash, honestly,
Kem is creasing. Kem is
of course he is, bro. He's on a delay. He just heard Reece come for Rio. That's why he's creasing. But come on, Nash. MVP material. Your feature today has been world class, bro. I love it. All right, Kem, who are you gonna say? Player and young player.
Player of the season, I'm gonna go. I have to stick with my Liverpool boys, so I'm gonna say Florian Wirtz, man. I also think he'll have to show his talents when Salah goes to AFCON. So if we are going to keep up a title challenge, he's going to have to play a big part. I think it's at least 6 games Mo will miss. It'd be nice if Egypt could actually win that for his sake, because he should be Ballon d'Or. But and then young player of the season, I'm going with Gittins at Chelsea.
Oh wow, okay. All right, is that based off yesterday's friendly as well?
I actually like him. I think he's a good player, and he is obviously 21, so he fits the narrative. So I can't obviously chuck in anyone else. Otherwise, Hansen, Gravenberch would have gone back to back. Huh?
You were so tempted by Gravenberch and Elliot, weren't you? I know you were.
No, Elliot's getting sold, man. Someone's taking Elliot, so our net spend can improve. So I wouldn't have even factored him in anyway. But yeah, I'm going to go with Gittins.
All right, cool. Razor, what are you saying? Who's your player and young player?
Gonna have to almost do a double on Johns in the sense that, I don't think Salah will have I still think he's going to be one of the best players in the Prem. I just think that at some stage he's going to start to not contribute as much because it'll get shared around. I think AFCON will play a factor in that. And because of the AFCON element, I think Van Dijk is going to have to be massive for Liverpool to win the league. If Liverpool win the league. If Liverpool don't win the league, player of the season will be Declan Rice. But different conversation. Van Dijk is because I put Liverpool as my winners. I think they're gonna win, and I think Van Dijk is gonna be the cornerstone in that again. Young player of the season, it's all Arsenal out here, bro. It has to be MLS. But I saw yesterday young Ethan got a new squad number, and you know what that means? Arteta might have been bullied into actually playing it, giving him some real game time. Man's wearing a number 22. That's not a reserves number. Do you know what I mean? So based on last season's performance, definitely got to give it to MLS. What a player, what a lad. But Ethan, I think this could be a big one for him.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I was tempted by Ethan as well. But I'm not sure. I think the Eze deal could scupper his game time a bit more. If that doesn't happen, I was probably going to pick him, to be honest. I think eventually he's going to come in, and no Odegaard's going to have to sit on the bench for a bit if he keeps playing the same way he's been playing. But you know what? I've gone Lenny Yoro as well, and I know you guys are going to hate. I know people are going to laugh. And Suleiman is not in the league anymore, so we rejoice. He's gone to Italy. Apart from that, he's been cold, and I will not hear otherwise about young Leonard. He's looked immaculate, man. And I think, he's going to. For us to get top 6, we're going to have to need the young players in the squad to step up. And I think he's a banker, because I think Martinez is not going to stop getting injuries. And our other defenders, De Ligt's even looking a little bit injury prone as well. So I think you're going to have to rely on him more and more. I've gone for him. All right. Well, let's go to best signing and flop signing. We'll do those together as well. Kem, for some reason now you're top of my screen, so we'll start with you reluctantly. Who have you gone for as best and flop signing?
What? Best signing, man. 100 million, no add-ons yet, but he will get those add-ons, and that's why he'll be the best player. And then I'm going with the flop signing. I'm going with Victor Gyökeres.
Oh, wow. So you really think it's not going to happen for Arsenal, yeah? Because come on, but we've talked about this in the group chat. If Gyökeres fails, this is a bagsman who scored 90 goals in 2 seasons abroad. What's your logic behind this? You think he's just not going to acclimatise? You think Arteta's?
I can say from experience, someone coming from the Portuguese league that banged the year before, boy, you're in for a rude awakening, man. Because correct me if I'm wrong. I read, maybe it's a troll. I read he didn't score many goals against even the top half teams in Portugal, and a lot of his goals were flooded with penalties. And I remember Pepe had a ton of penalties the year before he joined the Premier League. So. I also don't know if he'll get in. I don't see Odegaard bouncing back to supply him. I don't see Madueke being able to create for him. So a lot will rely on Saka. You haven't got Chargy to do long throws. I don't really know how he's going to fit into Arteta's style of play. I did say I'm not sure about his hold-up play beforehand in our group. So I'm not going to crash out over pre-season, because that isn't fair. He needs time to bed in. He also had a bit of an AWOL moment, didn't train. So that's just a little bit of the hater in me, but I can see him struggling, and he'll be classed as a flop because obviously the price was quite high.
Yeah, all right. Definitely some hater in you there. I'm glad to see it's come out not only against us in this episode. Io, you're back, bro. We'll get you to drop your predictions for the other categories later, but drop your best signing and flop signing for us now.
I think best signing, I think it's going to be Reinders for City. I think he will be. I think he's so technically gifted, and I think that's what they're missing. Obviously, now they've lost KDB. I think he's going to come in and just help them just stabilize. And obviously, I think Rodri's injured as well. They've said so. He's going to take a lot of responsibilities on, and I think he's a really nice and neat player. And then flop, I would say. Just going to throw it back to Kem and Liverpool with Works, I think, that much money. And I think, he spent 130 mil. He's got to perform pretty much from the get-go. So for 130 mil, if he doesn't really turn up in the first 3 to 3 months, then a lot of questions are going to be asked about the fee. And so kind of similar. So how is he going to adapt to the Premier League coming from Germany? So kind of similar things what you said about Gyökeres. So and that's not me being a hater. He's a good player, but I'm saying Works might be. It might be.
The timing on that is beautiful. Back to back, you guys both taking aim at your top signings. Johns, you're back. What's your best and flop signing?
For my best signing, I'm going to go for someone that's, I think I mentioned earlier, going to probably go under the radar, but it's going to massively improve their team, and that's João Pedro. So I'm going to go for him as the best signing of the season. And then flop signing, I was very, very, very tempted to put Madueke in there. I realised I'm an Arsenal fan, and that's harsh. So I'm going to go for the newly announced Benjamin Sesko. I think he is going to be in 2.0, and you're going to have issues as well. So good luck.
Honestly, I knew that this category was just going to be just everyone shooting at each other over like from every corner. But I hear you. Reese, what's your best and flop? Are you there, bro? Camera's bugging out.
Yeah, sorry, I'm there. I just couldn't hear John, so I don't know if what's
You
so I
didn't
just
miss
checked my
anything.
phone. Okay, best signing of Joe. I'm gonna go for Ray and Cherky from Lyon to City. 34 million. You literally can't go wrong with that. I checked. He's got I think it was 11 goals, 8 assists. Which I guess French league, yeah, we might be judging out, but he's both footed, and if he can work out this Pep style of play, I think he's going to be a massive threat. So that for the price, like you see what people are paying for these type of players this season. So I'm going to go Cherky, best signing, and flop. It was a bit difficult to pick this one, but I think I'm just going to go because of the outlay. Sesko could be a flop. Just based on the outlay, getting used to the Prem. Obviously you guys have got big expectations, so with those big expectations, he's going to have to start finding the net pretty quickly. So I just think because of the money spent and where you guys think Man United will end up, and if you don't get there, it could be perceived as a flop. So I'll go Sesko.
No, I hear you. As much as I'm doing up different facial expressions, I hear you. It's definitely the riskiest signing that we've done, and it's a big fee. So I get it. Nash, what are you saying? Who's the best and flop signing for you?
Best signing because my God is an awesome God. Baleba to United, 100 mil. That's gonna fix
Man's
the midfield.
predicting signings.
I'm not wrong. My God is an awesome God. That'll fix our midfield. So I'm going Baleba best signing, and worse, I'm going Verts. That ACL is not going to last a whole season in the Prem. He's only done it once, and that pace, it's not going to work out for him.
All right, I hear you. Oh man, I love this new version of the pod, mate. Man's predicted a signing that hasn't even happened yet as best signing. All right, Razor, what are you saying? Are yours actually confirmed signings? Are you going to start?
I was going to say, can I say Ebere Eze now? Nah, I think. Do you know what? Like best signing, I was very tempted by Cherky, very tempted by Reinders. Following my predictions in terms of who will survive relegation, I think Granit Xhaka to Sunderland might be an amazing bit of business. I think it might be an amazing bit of business, and if it stops the whole up and down of newly promoted teams, like if they're able to rubber stamp, we lost a couple guys. If he's able to rubber stamp his credentials, rubber stamp their credentials in the division in a way that no newly promoted side has done in the past however many seasons, I think that's going to be a thing. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, it's not top end stuff, it's not winning a league or qualifying for Champions League, but you know the difference in money between the two leagues is crazy. You know what I mean? I think that could be a real changer to a club like Sunderland. Flop signing, I wanted to be an op, and I wanted to say Wirtz. I do think Wirtz, I've said it already in the group chat, and Wirtz is on fraud watch from the first time. Even if he's on the bench for the first game, like I want to fail comp. You know what I mean? He's on fraud watch. You know what I mean? That's hating. Sesko, yeah. I rate him. I thought he would have been a good signing at Arsenal, but I'm glad we didn't get him at Arsenal for the same reasons that I think he might be the big flop. He's potential. You've bought potential, and he's not there yet, and he's going to have to adjust. And the lights are really, really, really bright at Old Trafford. And I think that combination of factors, even if he comes good like halfway through the season and starts like finding his rhythm, I think the initial perception, because United fans are not a forgiving bunch, I think the initial perception, if he comes in and doesn't bag, is going to be seriously mad. And I think he's going to look out of place in that front three, in terms of you've got improving on one side, improving on the other side. somebody's adjusting to the pace in the middle, and it might look a lot of the time the stuff that's being created for him isn't. He's not finishing his dinner. Also, I'm low-key hoping he flops because he's got one of the worst /best slander names I've ever seen. They're calling him Sheshka Fender.
Please,
I need them to flood the timeline with that. I need the memes of that. No. My God is an awesome God, and he's never let me down for banter. So, get me. Yeah.
So you go on Sesko. All right, I hear you, man. I definitely think there's the jury's out, man. I think it's a different one than obviously Rasmus, because I think Rasmus had like half a season with Atalanta. Like Sesko's had 2-3 seasons with Leipzig, and he's looked pretty good, but he's definitely still young and new league. So I think the jury's out. My best and flop, I've gone the same as Johnson's best. I've gone João Pedro. I think he's going to absolutely crash it on everyone at Chelsea. I've always rated him since Watford, but just I think style of play is going to work really well with Cole Palmer. I think you're just going to your Jackson shout earlier, Nash, might be the only howler you've had on this episode. Because I think they're going to see the difference, man. Because I think João Pedro's got the link-up play and the good things that Jackson has, but he's also actually, he's a maniac. Johnson was talking about elbows being thrown. I think he's got the dog in him, so I think he's going to absolutely bang for Chelsea. I feel a bit bad for Delap, you know. Man went to Chelsea at the beginning of the window. Yeah, I hear you, bro. But I've gone João Pedro. I think he's gonna solve the striker issues at Chelsea. And then flop signing, I've lost count, but in a good way. I'm going Wirtz, man. I'm going Wirtz. That boy is under surveillance for the whole of next season, pretty much his whole contract. For the way you guys were watching, and by you guys, I don't mean all of you, I mean Kem and Liverpool fans were on La Pioche the whole time he was at United, and he was, 80 million, 85 million? Don't think that you can slide in £120 million signing and not have us all over you. Yeah, and pause. We're going to be watching you guys like hawks for the whole of next season, and he's going to have to hit Russ Westbrook numbers, triple doubles everywhere for us to even get away from him. So I'm going to be on him, man. And like Nash said, that ACL, if Baleba comes through the door, he might be aiming for it, and he might become my favorite player if he does it, because I think he's going to struggle, bro. And if he does, we'll rejoice.
I'm reading Newcastle have told Isak he's not for sale. Nash has kindly sent that to me.
Hold that. Beautiful.
Me up. So,
to me also, just quickly, there was a lot of talk about strikers coming from the Portuguese league. I know, like, when hating's hating, let's keep it. Whenever Darwin came, he was not putting up Jokeres numbers in the league. I've heard a lot of talk about it, like, he scored 15 goals against the lower side teams. I support Arsenal. I saw Kieran Tierney play left wing against some of them lower side teams last season, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, he's on fraud watch from the word goal, but I think Darwin Núñez scored like 32 goals in 2 seasons. Can't compare him to
It's different.
Allow it, bro. Respectful.
It's different.
Be respectful.
It's absolutely different, for sure. All right, let's quickly, before we wrap up the pod, everyone real quick, just give our predictions for the Palace-Liverpool game tomorrow. Kem, give us your prediction. We will not give too much reason behind it. Let's just do the predictions only.
Liverpool win because I'll be there, so they better come through with it.
Still just gave a reason for it as well. What score? We need score lines.
2-1.
2-1. All right, Reese, what are you saying? What's the score?
I'll go Liverpool 2-0.
Okay, Nash, what are you saying?
Liverpool 4-0.
All right, 4-0. Razor, what are you saying? What's the scoreline?
3-1 to Liverpool. Boom, boom. Mateta's in the room kicking the corner flags at Wembley again. Yeah,
I hear it, man. Mateta is a weird one, isn't it? I'm surprised no one's really gone in for him. Top player. All right, since Johnson and I are out, well, I'll wrap it up. I think Palace are going to beat you. And I hope that the camera pans to you crying like a little kid in the crowd, because Palace are going to do you 2-1. Mateta's going to be involved. Eze is going to be involved. And I expect it to be beautiful.
The camera won't find me out. I'm up in the gods somewhere. It won't find me. You have to tell me the score.
Yeah, I hear you. Johns, quickly, you've joined. What's your Palace-Liverpool prediction? Just a scoreline, not too much reasoning.
3-0 Crystal Palace.
Go on, son. That's it. Chang brothers. That blood runs strong. All right, we're going to wrap up the pod here.
Mauricio's been in the live stream chat.
That's my boy.
That's
my boy. Yeah.
Shout out, man.
Top guy. Top guy. All right, we're going to wrap up the pod here for the future pods. You'll be seeing a combination of all of us. It might not be a mammoth 7-man pod like we did this time, but we wanted to all be on here. So you guys can get familiar with everyone. I think most of you guys have been featured on the pod previously, so you're fan favorites already. But yeah, you'll see a combination of us going forward. So yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. And yeah, great pod, guys. Let's see. We'll be tracking all the predictions as well. And we'll get in Io's categories that he missed. All right, take care, guys. Speak to you soon.
See you
Cheers.
later, broski.